So Sarah's got to be very, very careful where she lands this. See Paige Pierce here. Long look.
Holy cow. In the end, she just needs to get it through the trees. Just outside the circle. This will be for a par save.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to round 2 coverage, our lead card coverage of the FPO here on Saturday. I'm Nate Doss. This is my expert commentator for the FPO, Valerie Jenkins, 4-time Women's World Champion Valerie Jenkins. How are you, Valerie, this morning?
I'm doing great, Nate.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
It looks like the sun's about to peek out there in San Francisco, and it's an early morning round for the women, but I know they're ready to get started.
Yeah, I mean, we're ready to get started too. And we just saw in the opening, if you were with us from when we first came on the air, all of those amazing putts that we saw those ladies make yesterday. I mean, there was a good maybe 10 huge putts that our ladies just on our featured card made. So we're going to head right out to the first hole, and we're going to get to these ladies as they're just getting going. So here we go, Val. I'm excited. This is a great group. This is a great group of ladies and a great group of players.
Yep, exactly. So the great group, we've got Paige Bjerkaas. She's going to lead us off here on hole 1. And I'm so happy we were able to catch Paige's shot because she is a quick player.
Next up, from Plano, Texas, Paige Pierce.
Perfect shot there, Val, for Paige Pierce. Right in the middle, right at the perfect angle,
from
heading into this tough
Minnesota,
first green.
Katrina Allen.
Shot there for Katrina as well. Just an absolutely beautiful morning.
From Pensacola, Florida, Madison Walker.
Has to feel like wintertime for Madison right now. From Florida. And a beautiful shot from Madison Walker. And there we go, Val. Our 4 are off the first tee here. And we'll take a short commercial break. We'll come back into the fairway and get going on this second round.
Have fun. Go get them.
Let Dynamic Discs help distinguish the winners at your next event. We've got many options from a mini disc to a full-size disc, and we can do custom wrapped baskets from the micro recruit all the way up to a veteran. We can help design your trophies, and we have discounted prices on larger orders. Our designs feature sharp graphics and vibrant colors. We have what it takes to set your event's winners apart from their bags to their backyards. Learn all the ways we can help at dynamicdiscs.com.
And we're back here in the booth, and 4 perfect drives there on hole 1. It's a beautiful morning here. Just the fog is still kind of covering our players here at the Glen Eagles Golf Club. Again, we're here at the San Francisco Open, presented by AbsolutXtracts, powered by Innova Champion Discs, and the live coverage is brought to you by MVP Disc Sports. We're very thankful for all of our sponsors of not only this San Francisco Open, but of course the entire Disc Golf Pro Tour, the live coverage. And here we have Paige Bjerkaas pulling it way to the right, missing everything, but she is going to be hugely out of position there.
So hole 1 is 668 feet. It's a par 4. So they do have great shots right off the tee, but the hard work happens on the second shot. And I do like this play that we just saw Paige throw. We saw Madison throw. There's a little gap if you can find it through the trees, and it's a quicker A to B point from here to the basket. We might see as we make our way down the fairway, Katrina and Paige with a little bit more distance. They might be taking the outside route, trying to bring in an Hyzer. It is way more open that way, but it's the bigger shot.
Yeah, definitely. We see Katrina lining up a sidearm here. I mean, you can see there when you're further back, that Hyzer line is definitely much more open. And now that we've seen these players that are a little bit further up the fairway, they have a better angle coming in from this left side. But you're right, it's all about where they are off the tee. Getting better, getting worse. It finds its way just outside the circle there for Katrina Allen.
It's crazy what discs do on different types of ground cover. She got a nice skip. We are playing on a golf course, so the grass is so tightly mowed, and so you can get really nice skips. You hit that dirt road, you're going to get a huge flare. So it's all about where that disc is landing and the angle that the players are trying to bring the disc in at.
Boy, Paige giving that a nice run. She's going to have a birdie opportunity there. And that's a nice start there for Paige Pierce. And we just look at those scores at the bottom of the screen there. Paige Bjerkaas had 4 under. Paige Pierce and Katrina Allen at 3 under, and Madison Walker at 1 under. These are, these ladies really kind of separated themselves a little bit, being that the head of the second card, the chase card, was at 1 over par. So the closest person was Madison to them at 2 strokes ahead. They really sort of separated themselves in yesterday's round. It's something, Val, when you play a course like this one, there's a few courses out there on tour where it seems as if the best players just play the best because of the way the course lays out and how difficult it can be. So I mean, that's sort of what I feel like this course is.
I would agree. And this is one of the most challenging courses these players are going to play for the entire Disc Golf Pro Tour. It's just physically grueling. It's mentally grueling when the wind picks up. There's just a lot to deal with out here. Not only do you have the out of bounds like most courses have these days, but it's the huge distance, the elevation. I mean, everything really comes into play out here. There's no water. I think that's the only thing it's missing, but they do put enough of that out of bounds line to make you scared and make it feel like you're going to lose your disc.
Yeah, I appreciate no water. I hate playing around water. We lose discs in a lake, they're gone forever. It'd be like throwing your 7-iron into the lake. And so I certainly appreciate that. But you're right. And Paige is down here. This is the 18th tee pad for the men's group. And so she's pretty far to the right, but able to execute that shot nicely and get up there.
Wow, yeah. I haven't seen the basket from that angle yet, but yeah, she did pull it a little far to the right.
Yeah, we saw her second shot just sailing to the right. She hit. There's a humongous gap there that just opens up, and so she hit that and got all the way through, but looks as if she's made a nice recovery shot and put herself in position for a par, as hole 1 is a par 4. The front nine's pretty much filled up with par 4s and par 5s, just a few par 3s, and then we have that streak of par 3s in the back 9.
Katrina Allen, her putt was on yesterday, making these seem pretty effortless. She's still online, but yesterday she was making putts like that drop all day long. So if she can get that putting stroke back, she will be in contention again after today's round.
Yeah, seemingly Katrina Allen has been putting really well this year throughout the season, and that has a lot to do with why she's won quite a few titles up to this point. So nice job there by Katrina to sort of figure that out coming into this 2019 season. Oh, and a beautiful putt there by Madi Walker. Birdie.
Yeah. Talk about good putting. Madison showed us, hey, don't forget about me. And that is why she is on this lead card today, making huge putts like that. Nice.
Yeah, that's
right off the bat, instant Zuka replay.
Yeah, I like it. That was a beautiful putt there by Madi Walker. Oh, and Paige just not able to get enough extension. Look at the size of that tree behind Paige Pierce. Makes her look tiny.
I think so.
We'll see Kat move in here.
This is still a little bit of a tester, but not a problem.
And we're back, and that's hole 1 officially in the books. Let's head over to hole 2. Val, break us hole 2 down.
All right, hole 2. So this is an interesting hole for the women. We are going to be tucked into the woods off to the left-hand side here. So it's a different fairway, but this is the flight path that the women are going to take. You're trying to get up and over the small trees on the right-hand side and land yourself on top of this plateau, giving yourself a shorter putt as you putt up to this elevated basket. So it seems like a relatively easy hole, but once we get behind the tee pad here, you'll see that it's much tighter out the gap, and it's kind of a blind shot.
Yeah, yesterday we didn't have the right flyby, but today I saw that it came out of those woods. So I think our people at home got to see kind of how tight it is if they didn't get to see the play from yesterday. But you're right, it's just sort of a very tucked in there spot. But at 279, I mean, you said it yesterday, birdie opportunity for these players.
Yes, it is. This one's all about throwing it out, hitting that exact line you want in the sky, and letting the disc fall and do the work. So this is a backhand friendly hole. It's really tough. We did see Sarah Holcomb throwing a sidearm, but that's just, it's going against everything. She's trying to throw an Hyzer with a sidearm, and there is out of bounds on the right-hand side, just on the other side of this. It's a cart path, but it's a small dirt road.
It's a dirt cart path. This course is all the cart paths are dirt on this course, and a lot of them are used as boundaries for the holes.
Right. So that would be the only out of bounds that you have to worry about, and landing lower on that side hill is going to make those putts a little bit more difficult. So you do want to land up on top, like I was mentioning. And here we go into the Hobbit Hole. Madison with that great putt for birdie, for the only birdie on the first hole today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thing is it's early in the morning still. It's just 9:13 here for our players. Madison Walker getting it out the gap nicely, putting herself in fine position up on the plateau there. But it's just 9:13. It's still kind of quiet. No real wind to speak of, a little breeze here and there. The fog is still holding all of that in. It's not until we start to see that fog break up at some point middle of this round that we'll see any kind of breeze come up. And then, you know, by the time they're finished, the breeze is in full effect. It seems like there's a little bit to the right.
And there we go. She hits the tree, bounces out of bounds. She's gonna have to take her drive short and trying. It's gonna be a tough upshot for her with such a short lie off the tee.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the lie she gets. I mean, her group's going to have to give her a lie. She'll be out in the open. The OB is on the right side of this cart path, so that is an advantage in the sense that she probably will be taking her lie on that cart path. But it just shows you how tight they have to have that in there.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Nice shot by Paige. And you know, as we're back on the tee pad, you can really see how tight that little window is that they're trying to throw out of. And for me, it's that cutoff branch right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the thing just glaring you right in the eye. That's the thing you just do not want to hit by any means.
Oh, and Kat's got this pull to the right as well. She beats the big tree, and she'll be inbounds and safe. And we'll take a really, really quick break and come back and try to catch Paige Bjerkaas playing her second shot.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Jones. I'm here with my brand new Prodigy BP3 V2 backpack, and I'm loving this thing a lot. It's extremely lightweight. It's carrying all the discs I could ever ask for. It's pretty sturdy and durable. I've got my 2 putters up here, no problem. Room for a towel if need be. It's really lightweight, it's extremely efficient, and for all you, it's extremely affordable, so come check it out.
And as we come back here live, we saw in our picture-in-picture there during our commercial break, Paige Bjerkaas is getting a little bit unlucky, hitting the top of the hill, but then kicking and rolling down.
Kicking and rolling down into a bush. So she's going to be taking her stance on a side hill with 1 foot in the bush and throwing an uphill putt at an elevated basket. So yeah, she did get unfortunate with that roll. And that is not what she needed after going out of bounds off of the tee.
We saw her reaction just a little bit frustrated because she felt like it was a good shot. It just hit right at sort of the crux of the top of that plateau there and just took the bad kick to the right. She is still going to have a putt from there. Of course, being in that bush is going to make that obviously a lot more difficult. But as we said, she was able to take her lie from basically the cart path, as the OB is the right side of that cart path. See Katrina Allen, who also hit on that side hill and kicked down and away.
Okay, Mitch is right there, cool.
And there is quite a bit of vegetation if you do not clear it. But once you do, I mean, it's wide open right around the basket. But we're going to see Kat here trying to get a good stance to get 1 supporting point behind the disc. And man, this is tough. In a straddle putt, you're going to want to make sure you get enough leg power behind. And wow, she gave that great run. I mean, that's still, she was sitting at a 28-footer.
Yeah, she was
29-footer.
just on the edge of the circle there, which means basically looking at the way she finished the putt, it looks as if she was just inside the circle, so she wouldn't have been able to fall forward there. But it's one of those tough things, and now we're going to see Paige Bjerkaas putting right at us, but with that tight exit out of those woods.
Heck of a save there. Wow, that was for bogey, but it was not a double bogey, so that was a huge save. She was probably right around 25 feet at least, just inside of what Katrina's was, but extreme angle up toward the basket. Nice save.
Yeah, definitely able to find a stance there, make that big putt. It's a good save there by Paige Bjerkaas early on. Sort of a misstep on this, as I was saying. It's just so tight coming out of the woods here on hole 2. The mistake you want to make is to the left. There's really no danger up to the left, but because it's so tight coming out of those woods, the mistake happens to the right side. Madison just a little bit short there.
Yeah, that's so tough. She's deciding, yeah, did I make the right decision there? It's just so tough with a straddle putt on set. It's still a big putt on circle's edge, trying to get enough leg power to reach the basket, to get enough height. And here's Paige with CTP. Oh, and hangs on to this, to the pro side of the chains, and was able to cash in on that birdie. Oh, an unfortunate spit out there for Madison.
Yeah, and this is what we got to keep an eye on with Madison. Her up and down putting is something that will get her throughout the round and throughout some of these tournaments. She's a great player, but it's just one of those tough things. So that's an unfortunate miss there for Madi Walker. We'll head down the hill here to hole 3, Val. What do we got on hole 3?
Hole 3 is 347 feet. It's a par 3, and this is all about a left to right shot. So we might see a variety of shots here between a backhand and hyzer and a big old sidearm. And I think sidearm is the play here, but you do have to be wary of skipping and going out of bounds, as there is an OB line in the woods. They have moved it deeper into the woods. So if you do go out of bounds, it's going to be really tough to save your par. I think it's well outside the circle.
Yeah, they moved the OB, a good 40 feet away from the basket down in there. So, the mistake here to make is not to the right. We talked about it yesterday. I feel like that cart path, you want to end up to the left of that cart path that the basket is basically perched right next to. Anything to the right just works its way away so quickly.
It does. And after that cart path, it starts to slowly slope. So you can, if you hit weird, you can even get a little skip and then maybe even take off and roll into the woods. So that is something you do not want to do. This is a birdie hole if you do put yourself in the right position. And we've got pretty pristine weather right now. The wind is very calm in this early morning. So if you do give yourself a look at a putt, I would expect all of these players to be going for it. And after that nice birdie, Paige is first on the box.
Yeah, very fortunate catch there by the basket on the last putt for Paige Pierce. She's got a nice little turn on this flexing back. This is where it might go a little long. And it does go just a little bit long, just at the edge of the circle on the backside. Beautiful shot there by Paige Pierce.
I was running at the basket for a second.
Absolutely. And we saw Katrina's reaction right away, but really not that bad. She's going to be on the edge of the circle, even with Paige Pierce on the front side of the basket. She'll also have a birdie opportunity. I think with these more calm conditions, the backhand is much more accessible for our players. This is a great shot as well. Even better, putting herself inside the circle. Nice job there by Madison.
And you mentioned the wind, and typically on this hole, it would be a tailwind. So that would make it really tough for the Hyzer to carry that same flight path. So a little bit of a low shot there for Paige Bjerkaas. So she's outside circle 2.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, she's in the safe side. She'll have a long putt there. Quick break. We'll be back on the green. And we're back live here. We see Katrina Allen getting ready there. Just outside the circle. We're going to call this 38 feet here for Katrina. Man, and another good run. That's 3 basket hits for Kat here in this early going. And we'll see Paige Bjerkaas slide in here. While she was a little bit to the left, this is just a worse angle to be putting as it right behind the basket. It slopes away from her.
Yeah, and if you hit the basket or chains and don't go in, you could get that trickle out and roll. So that is quite a concern, but Paige is a great putter, so she's running it. Nice. It flops on the ground, doesn't roll or do anything crazy.
Yeah, super fortunate there, because if that hit just a little bit weird, picks up on edge, it's gone. I mean, that slope beyond that pin just does not stop. It just keeps going, going, going all the way to potentially OB.
And it's probably one of those slow wobbling putter shots where it just keeps going, keeps rolling.
Oh,
And thankfully for Paige Pierce, she also just hits and lays right next to the basket.
All righty, there we are, a birdie and 3 pars on hole 3. We'll move up the hill to hole 4. Break us down hole 4, this difficult hole 4, Val.
Hole 4, it's a par 4, 507 feet. It's a big hyzer shot off the tee, and we did see most players trying to throw over that bunker right there, which is about 300 feet, but it's slightly uphill. This is the view of the men's basket. The women's basket is off to the left. So this is a farther hole for the women. It is a par 4. The men will be playing that basket. It's a par 3. But after that drive that you land past that bunker, it's an Hyzer shot to the basket, and the basket is tucked into the trees, a sloping green. You're into the eucalyptus, so there's the eucalyptus bark and the acorns and stumps, and there's all sorts of stuff that you could possibly hit and get a little bit of a roll, but you just want to get a nice shot and Hyzer in and hopefully give yourself a putt. So this is a good birdie opportunity if you're able to execute 2 really nice shots.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the tee shot, I feel. And this is the start of where the holes start to get difficult on this course. Hole 1, 2, and 3 are birdie opportunities. We saw a birdie on all 3 of those by at least one of our players. And boy, Madison's got this way off to the right. We saw Katrina over there yesterday. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be kind of just tricky for her to just work her way up there, but she's in Parville over there, I would say.
Yeah.
Tough to get a birdie through those trees, working your way to the green.
She did get a high five from Paige Bjerkaas, so it does look like that is her plan. So maybe there is a bit more cleared out in there now that they've added that new basket. It seems that Paige is also in there.
Yeah, I mean, we have to let the players guide us, and they did prepare for this tournament. They've prepared themselves to play at the highest level. It seems as if all of them are taking more of the more direct route through the woods. We saw a few of our players yesterday taking the left side route and getting some birdie opportunities going that way. So we will see. I don't know. We just saw Paige Pierce sort of, talking about the hole. But again, it looks like all four of our players are going to take more of the direct route playing through the woods on their second shot.
And Paige Bjerkaas just catches the edge of that sand trap, and we will catch up with them in the fairway in just a minute.
Are you obsessed with disc golf? If so, this is for you. DiscGolfBoxes.com. Premium hand-picked products shipped to your door every month. It's easy. 1. Pick your box size, the par, birdie, or ace. 2. Choose the brand of disc you would like. 3. Fill out the survey so we know exactly what you like. Go now to DiscGolfBoxes.com and sign up today. Use coupon code DGPT to save 10% on your first box. Go to DiscGolfBoxes.com to get your monthly box of disc golf awesomeness.
So we see here Paige Bjerkaas directly in the middle of this bunker. This is what they call a hazard. So she is going to play her shot from here with a one-stroke penalty. Taking just a late kick. Oh, that was an unfortunate kick. I felt like she was moving her way through those woods pretty good. But she'll have a birdie or a par saving putt, long one, but she will have something from over there.
Yeah, you can see how many trees are actually in the way of these shots that are going to have to maneuver their way through the woods. So there's the men's basket. They took it out, laid it on its side so that it's not in the way for anyone's arm swing, at least. It might be in the way of footing at some point. But this is the last group to roll through, and this is all that eucalyptus bark that I was just talking about, especially by the basket. I mean, it's layers upon layers upon layers, so it's tough to get the right footing where you feel secure on the ground.
This is a dangerous situation, I think, for Madison Walker. I feel as if more of a touch shot is in play here, as a bad tree kick could really send her pretty far off into the stuff. And I've just been playing this game for too long. We saw it immediately hit off one of those big trees and kick down to the right, further away from the basket. She should have just been playing that one for a par, I think.
Yeah, and she was throwing it with such power, too, and throwing it at a sidearm. I mean, she's got that spin, and that hitting a tree, that spin is only going to take you far to the right. So, yeah, that was a interesting play.
We can't fault her for being aggressive. I mean, we can't say that, but I just think that there's a time and a place for a certain type of shot, and I feel like a little bit more of a touch shot was in better play there. And this is exactly what Paige Pierce is doing. Oh, nice kick there at the end, keeping her right on the green.
That was a nice little backdrop. Look at, she's only about 12 feet from the basket. So it's perfect position. And for par 4, she's sitting at birdie opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. We'll now start to see Katrina Allen get ready for her now second shot. Katrina had an absolutely perfect drive, I would say, to where it's just now a little chip down to the green.
And she's got a nice window to throw through. So it's just a nice slow and Hyzer.
And she's chipped it down there nicely. That log is just on the top side of the basket there, and so she's done okay. I would say that that's not, she's right there for birdie, but yeah, she's done a fine job. Now the job begins to try to find Madison's disc. We'll see how far she kicked down to the right. She still has an opportunity to chip it up the hill and save her par.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she did find her disc. Here she is. Well, I haven't been in this place before, but it looks like the cleanup area. This is where they were piling some things. So she does have some piles of sticks to get over. Make her way back to the basket. But
I remember last year somebody being down in this area, and it wasn't so bad. As you see right over her right shoulder, that opening, that's sort of the opening right towards the pin. Interesting to take the sidearm here. She just feels more comfortable.
I think she was able just to pop it out. It was a nice opening.
She probably just felt more comfortable with that sidearm. Now we'll see Paige Bjerkaas. This is going to be for par. She was in the hazard bunker. These eucalyptus trees are big, and they are true obstacles when you do get near them.
This is really the only footing. She can't even go on the other side of the tree because then you have those two trees next to the basket that would get in the way. So this is the clearest shot. But man, she's going to use all her body to get behind the putt to even give it a chance.
Yeah, just such a tough, that's, trying to use every little tiny muscle in your body to somewhat execute the putt like it was normal, but she was so outstretched it was going to be difficult no matter what. Now we'll see Kat move in for her birdie opportunity.
Just with a little bit of downward slope to the basket. It's a little bit of a tester.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
And no problems for Paige. She's going to pick up her birdie. Paige Bjerkaas having some troubles here in the early goings. She's now bogeyed 2 holes of the first 4 we've played. Madison, that's a nice par save there. She was able to chip up and out and get up to the green for her par 4. And there you go, hole 4 in the books, and we'll move over to hole 5. Here we go, Val, hole 5.
Take a look at this view. So the hole 5 is a par 5. It's 1,033 feet. This is a big boomer drive off of the tee. You want to stay on the right-hand side because you can really get into trouble with those trees on the left. And then as you make your way to your second shot, you might come into play with those OB bunkers. There's a green, I feel, so that there's some OB in the middle of the fairway. And then as you lay up to the basket, now you're dealing with a basket that's on a hill. So putting becomes an issue. So you want to make sure that your upshot is right next to the basket so you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we are, our top 10 leaderboard. We look there. Our leaders are still our leaders. They're still created that little gap. Erica Stinchcomb is having a really nice round. She's 2 under par through 4 holes. So she's on par with our leader. She's just a few strokes back behind there, but looking like she's playing well here in the early goings. Our previous champion, Sarah Holcomb, is at even par. She's still at 2 over for the tournament, so hasn't quite started to make her run yet that we would possibly expect being last year's champion. But really, man, you look at it, the top 4, they have a little bit of a gap right now.
Yep, and they're going to keep on building on that as we continue throughout the round. And that's the thing. Again, you were mentioning, you see that the best players in the world, they keep rising to the top, especially on such challenging courses like this. And as the weekend continues, players get a little bit more tired, you're losing your endurance, but those players that have been playing on tour for all these years, they have that experience. They're able just to battle through pretty much any condition that gets thrown at them. So, and any challenge too. And this course definitely gives up every challenge in the book.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was trying to think of why I was thinking of explaining it that way. And really the way I look at it is, of course, we always see our best players rise to the top. But to me, it's more about the other characters that are in the story that we're telling for that week. And when you look at these leaderboards, it's pretty much our lead main roles here, and it's because these courses, they don't have, there's nothing tricky about them. There's no goofy shots. There's no tight shot in the woods where, it's just, even the best players can get caught up. This course is what you see is what you get. And it's just challenging at every single turn. And so that's why I think we see the types of players that we see here at the top of our leaderboard.
That is very well put. I mean, it calls for big shots and big accurate shots, placing yourself in the right position for the next shot. And we saw Sarah Holcomb, she just threw there, but yesterday she had some trouble. She kept throwing on the left-hand side of the fairway, so she was just struggling to gain distance down this 1,000-foot hole. And so she's cleaning it up a little bit already with that second shot landing in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a par 5. It's 1,033 feet, but it's pretty severely downhill. And, I mean, in my opinion, it's a birdie opportunity. You got 3 shots to get yourself up into the green complex. And so, we should be seeing some birdie opportunities from our players. And then hole 6 is extremely difficult. So, you have a birdie opportunity followed up by, one of the more difficult holes of this Glen Eagles Golf Club course. Again, we're excited to have everybody here. This is a live second round coverage of the 2019 San Francisco Open presented by AbsolutXtracts and powered by Innova Champion Discs. Thank you to everybody for following us here. If you're out on the East Coast, it's just past noon, probably having just a little bit of lunch. Probably most of you disc golfers have already played your first round of the day if you play on Saturdays. So welcome to our live coverage. And you see the scores there. Paige Bjerkaas is the only one of our group to not be playing well at this point. She's just sort of had up and down throws, not as on point as she was yesterday. She had a completely bogey-free round until the 18th hole. So interesting to see, but Paige Pierce feeling confident in the early goings. And it's potentially another Paige and Cat battle as we look at these scores just sort of stacking up here.
Yeah. The scores are starting to separate just a little bit, but there's plenty of golf left. But mentioning Paige Bjerkaas' round, I mean, up until the very last hole, yeah, bogey free. She does bogey the last hole. But it's amazing, from the start of hole 6 through hole 15, she parred all of those holes. So her scorecard just looks so incredibly clean. I mean, when you're playing such steady golf like that, you're going to find your name at the top of the leaderboard. And I think that just proves the consistency that she's continued to gain throughout the years of traveling and being on tour and winning a world championship. That never hurts.
Yeah. I cut after every half. I let them. I focused on the basket for 5 seconds until everybody clears. I hit stop recording. my start.
Hole 5 is the communal meeting spot here as we hear all these different tiny conversations going on. Madison Walker probably working on her Instagram story from one of her adventures over the last week or so. And Paige Bjerkaas just trying to figure out what she can do to get herself back on point.
Well, that didn't do anything.
And as we heard Paige Pierce say, yeah, I think we're going to have a green flag here coming up. It's a long hole. It's a daunting tee shot. You know, the flyby is interesting. That one that we were just watching started at the drop zone. So the drop zone's 750 feet from the basket. But this tee shot, you were mentioning it, you know, just falls away to the left. And the players have to be really, really careful to not let that disc just flare off to the left because the fairway just runs away and there's a fence line OB over there.
And it is tricky as you release the disc too. You know, you want to have a lower aiming point so that it just rides down the hill. You need a little bit of that turn so it's fighting the hillside, and so it's just really tough to have that accuracy with that angle and keep it at a low height but still get enough distance. I mean, there's so many things that come into play. And Paige Pierce absolutely crushed the shot yesterday. We were judging, it could have been about 500, 550. She was way down the hill. She was on the flat part, making her second shot much easier. Let's see if she can do it again. I mean, this is the chance to unleash.
It really is. You mentioned the city views we have here. The course is located in a very urban area, but it's a sort of a little hidden, tucked away portion of the city and county of San Francisco. Paige just got that snapped over a little bit. Let's see what it does ground play wise. It just needs to kind of sit at this point, and it's not going to. She's going to be inbounds, but pegged behind a massive stand of redwood trees, as well as some big cypress trees. Kat's got that snapped over a little bit as well, but it had a little bit of a flatter angle and didn't quite roll as much.
You can see that from the flanners, the wind isn't really much of a factor. So it's just up to the players to hit the right angle.
Oh, if this rides like Madison is pulling her body, this looks beautiful. This is where that gravitational pull starts to pull it to the left. Oh, and it's just gotten over there. But she should have an okay angle there from that cart path to get back into the fairway.
Yeah, just a little bit high, so that it was not turned over enough. Wow, this is an interesting shot.
Yeah, Paige Bjerkaas is just taking a completely... She threw a much slower disc. That wasn't even a high-speed driver, just playing position here on this par 5. Interesting play there by Paige Bjerkaas. Quick break. We'll be back to see Paige on her second shot.
And we are back with Paige Bjerkaas lining up the shot, and Nate and I are still conversing over this unique play.
She threw a slow disc. I know that for a fact. It almost seems, I'm just trying to look at it. It's either an overstable driver or an overstable mid-range, because she's only, I mean, this is a 1,000-foot hole. She's only, probably 280 off the tee. So I think playing more just position. And so she's, I mean, you can see the stand of trees on the left, but she has an angle now to just play out and around them. Yeah, bad footing, of course, there, Val, but and still on that left side, so that slip, probably didn't help with the completion of that shot.
And I understand and I respect strategy and placement, but on a 1,000-foot hole, you need to take as much advantage as you can with distance. And being on a tee that's so elevated, that is your chance to get the distance. Using the hillside to really carry your disc down the hill as far as you can is what you should do. It's tough to choose a placement shot on such a long hole because there's so much ahead of you that could cause you trouble. So we'll see how this hole plays out for her. And she was the leader after the first round, so we can't question her strategies too much. I mean, they put her in a good position to be here on the lead card today. But
boy, Kat has found herself perched on just a flat spot up here. This is up near where the so we're going to say she's roughly 750 feet away from the basket, and just sort of tucking it down there on the left side. She's going to have a tricky upshot, but still an opportunity for birdie.
I'm sure you were actually out.
I was going to think about this back on the tee as we'll see Paige Pierce now just super tucked, and now just going to have to just kind of chip out and attack this from the fairway again. But I was thinking about it on the tee. There wasn't much wind today. There was more wind yesterday, but one of the hardest things can be making those adjustments. They maybe practiced in those windy conditions, and, Paige Bjerkaas had maybe already made up her mind this was the way she was going to play the hole versus just, we have great wind conditions. I'm just going to and now attack it. So maybe she just didn't feel comfortable. I mean, that's entirely possible.
Yeah, and you do have to prepare for those extreme winds on a course like this. That's just what this course does. I mean, we're in the Bay Area, being perched in this little elevation, this elevated course. You're going to have the winds ripping through. So you need to know how you're going to play it. And as we saw last year, the winds were blowing even for the women's round in the morning, and then more intensely for the men's round in the afternoon. So having a good wind game and something that you can be confident in throwing even when the wind picks up is really important.
Yeah, just being able to lean on your game plan. Madison asking for that disc to come back across the fairway. Looking at it like she's not super happy with it, but I think she's gonna have a nice angle at this green for her third shot. Remember, this is a par 5, so we still have quite a bit of opportunities here for birdie. Pretty much for all of our players. Mm-hmm. Even Paige Bjerkaas, who left herself, she's probably still got 380 into the green and a tough stance. She kind of got pegged right up against that tree.
Yeah, if she can get herself out. That's the tough thing about the left-hand side of the fairway. As you move your way farther down, the trees get a little bit closer. It creates more of a wall, so you're going to get less openings to throw out of. Mm-hmm. Where we just saw Paige Pierce throw from, the trees are still pretty far spread apart, and so you're able to get the big gaps in the trees and choose which one you want to go to. But we're seeing Paige Bjerkaas now lining up her shot, and she seems to be right on the edge, but choosing whether to throw a sidearm or a backhand.
Yeah, now that I see where she is, there's no way she's going to get up to this green. There's just no possible way. So now it's about picking, Paige plays so quick, but it's about picking the game you want to play from here to the green. You got 3 shots to get it into the basket and take your par and move on to hole 6. So She's done okay to do that. She's put herself in a decent position, on the right side, playing that sidearm. She's going to have a wide open look at that green.
Yep, that's the angle you want. You want to be on that far right side so that you're looking at the basket instead of throwing into it with a hyzer. So it little bit of a struggle. She's not really showing us the best of what that strategy off the tee can do, but it's always fun to see the different routes that players take. And as we'll see as the course moves on, the routes that we say people are going to take, they
sometimes don't take them.
They just end up not taking them. Even if we bet money on it,
right?
It's like they don't hear us.
Yeah, it's like they don't care. We always do say there's no pictures on the scorecard, but with now there's video that we can watch, and so it's one of those things. It's our job to question what they're doing and sort of reference back to what we think we would do. And here's Paige Pierce. Wow, what a kick! That was one of the strangest ground play kicks I've ever seen. It hit, popped straight up, and then sort of rolled around. That was incredible. She's gonna have a birdie opportunity from there.
Yeah, seeing it, yeah. Typically, you would end up seeing that disc. If it hit, it would just flare skip, and that was going to be farther away from the basket. But she was able to skip Mac up on the dirt, but then roll kind of closer to the basket almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we see Madison Walker here. As we said, she put herself way out to this right side of this fairway. She's avoided that pot bunker there, which would be a hazard. And now she has this beautiful angle down to the pin. Just pulled it a little bit to the right. It can come in.
Come on in. Oh.
God, and our crowd can't see what just happened. Madi rolling away down the little slope there. She will have a birdie opportunity, but more unfortunate. That was a good shot by her.
She had a nice throw, nice spin, follow through.
I love the
style
spin.
Points. But yeah, if she was just about a foot shorter, she would have gotten a nice skip up to the basket. Instead, she hits the side of the hill, rolls a little bit far into the brush. It's going to be interesting to see if she goes for this one. Again, the basket is perched up on the hill.
What a beautiful shot there by Katrina Allen. That is a sure birdie. Incredible touch by her to show right there. I think she left it on the top of the plateau. I don't even think it went down. So beautiful shot there by Kat. That's a tough shot, I'll tell you. I mean, we played this tournament last year. We know what this green's all about. To keep it up on that flat part is a difficult task.
I think the play is to play it just a little bit short so that you can skip it a little bit on that road, on that flat spot, and work your way up the hill. She went for the risk shot of throwing it and landing it basically on top of the hill. And if you're coming in a little bit too fast, a little bit too much of an angle, that's when you get the skip and the roll. I do think she stayed up on top, but it's all about picking your landing area.
The trials and tribulations of Paige Bjerkaas on this fifth hole. And that's not a great shot. She's going to have a difficult putt for par coming back up the hill. The one thing is that it is back up the hill, which will help in a way because it's a little less dangerous. But it looked like she went about maybe 30, 35 feet past because it was flying at pin high.
Flying over the flag, over the basket, very high. But as she putts back, the backdrop of the hill isn't quite as steep as where she's putting from.
Mm-hmm.
So she will have a good opportunity to run it with some confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we still have a little jostling here. Paige needs to figure out where she is. And we see that disc there is the disc of Paige Pierce. We don't know how far Madi Walker rolled away as well. But boy, we can see how far Paige has gone past. I'm going to call this 40 feet, Val.
Wow. Tough footing.
Looks like she's trying to work that little walk-through putt she has. Tough footing for that. Oh, man.
No way. I mean, it was just so casually as she was stepping up and walking through, but right dead center, but unfortunately it was the cage, not dead center chains, but heck of a run.
Yeah, heck of a run, but to take a bogey on this hole in these conditions is a big misstep by Paige Bjerkaas, and unfortunately she's not playing as well yesterday. She still has a lot of time to pick it back up, and here's Madi Walker. That little branch. Oh, there's a little, we can barely see it. There's a little tiny branch right there that she had to navigate.
Well, she really rolled into the woods there. I thought she was just going to be right on the edge, which would have put her about 20 feet. But man, she really coasted into the woods. Here's Paige. And Paige Pierce do that in the first round, and it just takes all the trees out of the way. I mean, if you're able to punch out of the trees immediately, you're able to get out on that golf fairway, and everything's just way more open from there. If you do end up going down the tunnel, hitting a tree, or just struggling down that way, the strokes can start to add up, and you still have so much of the fairway to go.
Yeah, you're right. It really does seem to me like chipping out to the right for our women's players, the way this hole plays is probably the safest way to attack this, and we see Paige doing it just like she did yesterday. She did go OB yesterday. She has not done that today, playing it more with more Hyzer. Paige Pierce looking locked in, as well as Katrina Allen. Both these players are playing well in the early goings, and they've now separated themselves by 3 to the closest competitor. Two-lady race at the moment.
And that was a little bit tight, but she's out in the fairway there. But as you can see, the way that the tee lines up, it is not lined up for that right-hand side shot. So Madison is going up the fairway that I'm sure the course designer intended.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen Madison just play out to the right. I think she's now put herself in a really, really tough position. I feel like if you play this shot right here that we're just seeing in the air, you can pitch up to that front of the green, and from there, par is almost a sure thing. But we've got 3 out to the right. Madison tucked in the woods. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Mitch, I'll go out to the right, okay?
If you guys like the H3 V2, but maybe you're looking for just a little bit more flip up and glide, the H4 V2 is going to be your disc. I'm absolutely loving it, and it filled a spot in my bag immediately.
Disc golf is a relatively young sport, but its popularity makes it one of the fastest growing pastimes in the world. The PDGA is a not-for-profit, worldwide player organization dedicated to promoting the sport. Like a long drive off the tee, disc golf is soaring. So don't just be a witness to disc golf's explosive growth, be a part of it. Join the PDGA.
And we're back. We see Madison Walker now sort of trying to figure out how she's going to now work her way up, continue up this fairway. It looked as if she was looking out to the right, which was sort of, possibly the position she could have been off the tee had she just taken the Hyzer line. But now we'll see what she really has. It seems like a very difficult stance.
There's quite a bit of fallen trees, prickerly.
She's truly in the rough. This is the rough
This is
of this
extreme
hole.
rough.
Yeah. And I think, now we can really tell what's going on here, because she's going to be forced to continue up this left side, bringing in still a lot more danger.
Maybe.
Or she's thinking about possibly just going backwards as well.
Yeah, and the tough thing about throwing up the tunnel is you have to throw it about 380 feet to clear out of the tunnel. So it looks like Madison is choosing to try and go out to the fairway of the golf course to join the rest of her group, but hits a tree. And so she's still on the edge of the woods here. Likely going to have another standstill shot.
It just goes to show you a simple decision can affect things in such a major way. And I'm not going to say that, I've done this 100 times, or 1,000 times possibly, where there was a line I knew I should have taken, but there was this other line that I thought I could hit. You don't take it, and in hindsight's always 20/20. And I think now Madison Walker's thinking, boy, I'm now throwing my third shot. And I'm still just, not even too far from where my tee shot was. It's a tough situation. She's going to have to just stay calm, make a good shot here, and just move on with this hole. There was a statement I heard yesterday where you don't have to follow up a bad shot with a great shot, just a good one. And she's done that there very nicely.
That's a good saying. I haven't heard that one before. I was going to quote Elaine King, as I've always quoted her. Choose the path of least resistance, regardless if it's off the tee or down the fairway. Even if it's that crazy shot that you think you could hit 1 out of 100, and it could be the shot people talk about for years down the road. Choose a path of least resistance. You're going to get the distance, which always matters as you're making your way down the fairway. And here we go with the shots that were immediately right off the tee. So you see there's no trees in their stance, but it is a tricky second shot. So we're seeing Paige Bjerkaas choosing to lay up short. There is the OB golf green. There are the hazards of the sand traps. So Paige Bjerkaas landed just short of those. And it really is a crush if you want to get it past those, if you're choosing to go the left-handed route.
I think what Paige Bjerkaas just executed is exactly what she needed to do. She's not playing well. She's bogeyed 3 of the last 4 holes. She just needs a couple good shots and get that par, move on to the next one, and move on to the next one. And so we're going to see Katrina here looking very aggressive, and she's going to be trying to go over that green with a roller, no doubt. There she's on the green now. Oh, and just sit down. Hits the wall, comes back just a little bit. She's going to have about a 40-foot putt for birdie. Nice shot there by Katrina Allen.
Really aggressive play, but it did pay off. Really, if you're able to clear that green, the roller is going to be the best chance to do that. Wow, that was so interesting. You have the sand traps that could catch you, but as long as you're hitting the right line, the roller does work.
Yeah, well, we just saw the roller work really nicely. It's cool to see a shot like that. It seems to me as if Katrina possibly even practiced that. It didn't seem like that was just, this 50-50 shot. She seemed pretty confident in it. So cool shot to see there. Now we have Madison Walker.
That's a good little view of the cameramen that are helping bring the live coverage to your home this weekend.
Interesting shot here for Madi. I think this possibly brings the bunk, the golf green into play. She's got a nice turn on it. Okay, so she stayed safe from the OB on the right as well as the golf green. So no harm, no foul. That is her 4th shot. So she's lying 5. Double bogey is on her way. Yeah, she'll have a long look at bogey. A possible throw in, of course. But we're going to see Paige Pierce here step in. I'm interested to see the line Paige takes here. Does she take this super aggressive Hyzer, or does she try to go with the Hyzer, which is a little bit more touchy?
Well, that little warm-up shot showed
Says
exactly
everything.
what
Yep.
she's going to do. Taking the wide route, it's important to give yourself enough height to clear that wall that's surrounding the green. Come on.
Needs to get lucky. And that luck is not going to come her way as she pulled it too far to the right, staying out of bounds. She did not come back over that grip 6 wall. So her lie is going to be pretty far back now, forced to throw another Hyzer up over that OB to come into this green complex.
Right. I would expect to see that Hyzer, and that is a very, very risky shot again, out of covering OB the entire
Uphill
way.
too. It's uphill a fair amount.
But Paige also has a sidearm, so if she does have an angle to throw a sidearm, that would be the safest shot to allow her disc to clear inbounds, and it would still give her a good look at the basket. So that's why it's fortunate to have 2 throws in your bag, backhand and sidearm. Madison just getting a good little warm up
I
there.
think she was going for just a little jog. I mean, I think she was actually running up to see if hers was in bounds. I think she was looking for that blood pressure, rising thought to go out of her mind. So she did a little run, and now they're just talking about Paige Pierce. The group has determined the lie.
Like here then? Starting? Yeah, that's good. I think my wheels fell off my bag. Nice, me too. Sorry. I'll call Tina. Oh, she's playing. I think I have one. It's all good. Mostly my phone.
A slight uphill run up also. So this usually makes you throw a little bit higher than you intend. It's tough to throw a straight laser shot here.
She's left it to the left.
That's safe. It's on the left-hand side of the out of bounds.
Yeah, in a really tough position now. She kind of got caught up in the ivy that was on that bigger tree. Again, that's just a tough shot. Now she's OB, and yeah, there's all kinds of emotions running through Paige Pierce's mind right now. But Paige Bjerkaas is down here. She's now lying 2, so she's going to be throwing her 3rd shot into the screen. Looks like she has to do just a nice little whip Hyzer out and around the tree that Paige Pierce just hit. Wouldn't be too much worry about the OB. And she's handled that nicely.
Yeah, a little bit better of an angle for Paige Bjerkaas to throw that shot. It's always just so scary when you're throwing shots where it's clearing out of bounds the whole time. And it's that very last second when you know it's going to land inbounds or out of bounds. So wasn't that long ago when we were playing these tournaments. We played this tournament last year. And so I can still feel that anxiety that you feel when you're throwing these really stressful shots.
Yeah, I think this experience of being a commentator in the booth has really changed my thought process a lot. I mean, you have to understand the statistics of the holes. And when you look at it, Madison Walker is throwing now her 5th shot. She's handled that okay, but bringing in a lot of And we see now that's the lie of Paige Pierce, but so she's up there for her 5th shot. But just understanding the statistics of the hole, understanding a par on this hole is essentially a birdie. And so that's something to really, really think about when you're standing on that tee. This hole is playing 1.28 over par. So I think the statistics tell us everything that we need to know.
And the statistics tell us this is the hardest hole on the course. And we are seeing it show its teeth to this lead card today. That's interesting. They were taking like a second look at that.
Everybody at home, we want to remind you that the wall is not the out of bounds. There are stakes there. And so the players went over and tried to determine if Paige Pierce had potentially landed in bounds. So the walls are just there for marketing purposes, as well as sometimes helping and or hurting the players. So they were just taking a look at that, I think. And this is a big stretch out. Boy, putting a little bit too much air under that. And she's put herself just 12, 15 feet past the pin. So still not in at this point. And now Katrina Allen, who's played this hole so well to this point, just sort of standing around watching all this happening. That's always an interesting feeling.
Yeah, and you're kind of making the hole just seem so simple. I mean, it's not a bad position to be in. This is for her 3.
Oh, man. She has had some really good putts today. I mean, she's hit the basket for birdie, I think, on every single hole and made a couple of birdies up to this point. So Katrina Allen playing really, really well, continuing that good play through this spring season.
Going back to talk about this position we're in now, talking about disc golf and watching so much disc golf. I feel like I've watched the most disc golf I have in my entire life in the last 2-3 months. This is the most coverage without actually being there on the course.
Boy, Madison Walker not able to put that in. She's going to take a triple bogey. There's Paige Bjerkaas taking a par, a much-needed par for her. Boy, but yeah, Val, you're right. There's by far, this is the most disc golf we've ever watched without being on the course. Typically, we would be either playing right now or preparing right now. So it's been a lot of fun for sure. There's Katrina Allen for par. And we'll move on past hole 6 onto hole 7. Let's take a look at hole 7, Val.
Hole 7 is another par 4. It's 483 feet. Starts off with shooting out through this gap. Players do want to throw a slight Hyzer, but for me, this is all about just getting it out there as far as you can. I think landing on the left side of the fairway is the best position to be in. As you can see, the basket is tucked just behind some trees, so it is an Hyzer shot or sidearm to the basket. But 483 feet, it doesn't seem like it's a very tricky hole, but it is slightly uphill the entire way, so it just plays a lot longer than that. So it's up in the mid 500s, I think, as it plays uphill the entire way.
Yeah, absolutely. Statistics are showing us playing just around par, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And, it is a par 4. But yeah, as you said, I think the slight uphill really is probably the biggest challenge here, but also this tough turnover coming out of the woods. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of becoming a very statistical person, I guess, in this way. Putting it on that left side and attacking the green from the left side is going to be the best play. Do have to mention this is the Savage Hole, sponsored by Savage Ultimate. Playing Ultimate with just 7 players is Savage, and we do appreciate their support of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Paige Bjerkaas is putting it on that left side as well. There is an OB line, as Val said, all along the right side. So our players just being able to go out there on the left is going to avoid any sort of disaster there. You really don't need a huge bomb off this tee. You just need to be out there enough so that you feel like you can reach this basket in 2.
And
neighbors.
Side by side. The interesting, you were mentioning you want to play these holes for par. You want to play for par, and this is a par 4. But in my head, it's a gettable 3.
Right.
Like, I want to throw those 2 perfect shots to put me right underneath the basket. But the upshot is where we're going to see it be a little bit more tricky. So we'll catch up with them in the fairway in just a minute.
At Dynamic Discs, we offer affordable custom stamping to help your company, club, event, or tour stand out from the rest. We can use your own design, or we'll work with you to design a stamp that captures the tone of your event. We'll get your discs stamped quickly and on their way within 3 weeks. If you're ordering for an event, you may qualify for one of our sponsorship tiers as well. Discs are listed at our best pricing with a minimum 50 disc order with a 10 disc minimum per mold. We have junior and mini discs available as well. For all the information you need, head over to dynamicdiscs.com or email custom@dynamicdiscs.com.
Right before our commercial break there, you were mentioning how this hole is a gettable 3. I totally agree with you. It's the way that the players have to play the hole. If they can get their drive out to that left side, out there far enough, 3 is definitely in the gettable range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree too. It's one of those things, like, as a player, I never really paid attention to pars. I had my game plan in my head and what I thought I could achieve on each hole. So a hole like this, I want to get a 3 on it. And then it was funny when I'd look back on the par, like, oh, well, I got a par. But to me, like, in my head of what my game plan was, it felt like a bogey. But yeah, it's a weird mindset of actual course par and what the players are setting in their own minds.
That'll be pretty loud. Yeah. Do you have that extra sack? Nothing.
Giving a shout out for an extra whale sack, I think.
Let's call Paige Pierce 200 feet from the basket here. So she's going to be executing this sidearm, looking to throw it about 220. And she's got that on a beautiful line, putting it up there pin high, just not having the carry back to the right over there to the basket, but in a much better position than yesterday with a birdie opportunity.
I'm sure she's a little surprised she didn't get the skip. Landing basically on just a dirt patch there. You should have expected just a little skip toward the basket, but she will be sitting good.
I think it's just that slight uphillness. It just kind of slowed it down. This is a much more difficult shot. Throwing this turnover into this green is really tough.
Yeah, but a little tight, and you're going to end up right behind those barrier trees. We did see Paige Pierce cash a huge putt through the gap that it's barely big enough to fit a putter. So Paige Bjerkaas might have a look, but with just a little bit more distance from the basket, she's just going to want to get it next to the basket without trying to even be close to those trees.
Yeah, at this point, I think for Paige Bjerkaas, pars are going to be good. She just needs to get back comfortable playing and executing those shots. We looked at her scorecard yesterday. She finished 4 under par. She had 5 birdies and a bogey, and really a lot of pars. She actually had a run of 11 straight pars yesterday, And so her game plan is to sort of be playing that way. So she just needs to sort of stick to that game plan and let the birdies come when they come. So I think that's an okay situation for her. Here's Madison Walker. Boy, taking the tricky line and sneaking it up there nicely. Nice job there by Madison Walker.
That was an insane line to take. I mean, she's a strong sidearm thrower. I'm wondering what the strategy was behind that. We need a whole interview with Madison, the game plan of this course. Like, she's throwing us for some loops.
I think it was just the angle was maybe too tight for the Hyzer. And here's Kat just whipping it out there. Again, not that forward power that she needed, so not taking any skip at all, just sort of digging in. And we're going to have 4 birdie opportunities, although Paige Bjerkaas is a little bit more of an outside opportunity at this point. But still, ladies playing this just as Val, you've mentioned, it is a birdie for all of these players. So good opportunity there. There's that name, Elaine King. Elaine King playing really well, actually, here in the early goings. She's 1 over par, just 2 over for the tournament, 1 over for the round. So Elaine having a nice round. Rebecca Cox playing really well, 3 under par through 8 holes. So Rebecca is trying to make that final card in that final round. We've seen a lot of Rebecca this year. So nice round for Rebecca going. Sort of bunch of difficult holes left, of course.
And so this is such a tricky shot. There we go. Don't even risk getting greedy. Just get it through the trees so you can tap in that putt. Nice play by Paige Bjerkaas.
Yeah, just the smart play for sure. Just sort of, I mean, you can see what she had. I mean, nothing. So just chip it through there, get your par, move on. Next hole's a birdie opportunity as well, so there's still birdies to be had out here. And we saw it yesterday with Eagle McMahon taking a triple bogey, on this very hole, and then going on just a massive run of birdies. And so Paige Bjerkaas has that opportunity. Only on the 7th hole of this second round.
Trying to use a little bit of body language. Just doesn't extend at the pole like she needed to.
It's okay. And the good solid putting from Katrina continues. Birdie for her. As the rich keep getting richer there, that's going to move her to 6 under par. And she now has a 2-stroke lead over Paige Pierce.
And bogey free at that.
Oh, Madison just leaving it a little low. Oh, that's so frustrating. She had a really tough 6th hole and had played this 7th hole very nicely. Not able to capitalize on those 2 shots she threw. Just see some pars from our players, and we'll move on past this 7th hole down to the 8th hole. We'll load that up, and here we go about hole 8. What do we got?
Hole 8 is 490 feet. And we'll see as we make our way up, there is a lot of out of bounds. These walls are at the front of these OB boomerangs. So there's placement. So whether you want to throw it in between there, or if you want to go for it and clear both of the out of bounds boomerangs to land yourself up onto the top tier, there's an OB green. There's a couple of sand traps. There's OB on the left and the right and in the middle of the fairway. So this one's just about sticking to a game plan, understanding how aggressive you want to be off of the tee. And I think that's how the rest of the hole is going to play out. So it's all about the tee shot and landing yourself in the position to set yourself up for the next few shots.
Yeah, absolutely. My guess is that Madison Walker, Paige Bjerkaas are going to play into the secondary area. They're going to play in between those two OBs. I think we'll see Katrina and Paige go to the past both OB areas as we saw yesterday. And if you go past that second OB area, then it's a really accessible green because you're pretty far up there. And so here we see Kat playing this beautifully. She's up past that second OB area.
So that is 420. It's 300 feet to clear that second OB.
Yeah, the only wild card there is if Paige Bjerkaas is going to go over that secondary OB area. She's shown that she's been playing pretty conservative, so that's why I was guessing she might just go over just the first OB. You see Paige got a little turn on it, but she's going to be safely in bounds way up there. She's going to have just a mid-range into this green. She had that yesterday, left it out of bounds. It just sees a little missteps.
And so I'm saying it's 300 feet, but it is slightly uphill, so it's going to play longer than that. But there it is. Paige Bjerkaas throws to that second safe spot. And I think that is a good play. I love that the course designers have put the wall at the front of the out of bounds. We do see Madison off to the right, but she lands safely in bounds. But it's a good aiming point when you've got those walls to aim for. So we will catch up with the players at their second shot.
And here we are back. You see Paige Bjerkaas able to just barely get it up over that green. She is safely in bounds. And from there, we'll just see a chip up to this basket. We're going to move over to Madison Walker, who's quickly already thrown. We've missed her throw there. She stepped up within just a few seconds and just chipped up in front of the next green. But those were some quick shots there.
They were, and there's so much out of bounds around the basket, and there's those hazards of the sand traps. It's weird to not take just that extra second and, think about the shot, see if there's any wind that comes into play. But I guess they had their game plan. They were ready to go. We were just dawdling.
Well, it is severely uphill on the second shot. Now we see the position that Katrina and Paige have put themselves in, much more accessible here. But yeah, those two had their game plans. They executed them, and we'll see. A little too much Hyzer. Kat asking him to get down. Excuse me, and it's done that just inside the circle.
My phone charger's in the bag too in that top box.
It's a good spot to be in. As we can see, it's flat and level up there. You'll land a little bit short or a little bit more to the left. You'll have more of an uphill putt at an elevated basket.
So Madi just sort of chipping her way up this fairway. Now this will be her third shot. We still haven't gotten to Paige Pierce's drive.
So it does make a little bit more sense of why she was so quick to throw that second shot. She just played the safe up shot. I mean, she only threw it about 100 feet in front of her, not wanting to even bring any of that out of bounds into play.
And here's Paige. This is just a putter for Paige right now. Putting it up there on the left side. She's going to have a birdie opportunity. So, our two players that played it short of the secondary, the main landing zone, They are playing the hole just for par, and these other two ladies who have gone to the longer section are playing it for birdie. So a couple birdie opportunities, a couple par opportunities. We're just seeing the game plans coming together here as our leaderboard begins to elongate out even more. Katrina Allen 6 under par, Paige Pierce 4 under par, and Paige Bjerkaas down there at 1 under par. So it's just sort of starting to stretch out here in the early goings. We're about halfway through this tournament. I think this is just a chip.
It was an aggressive chip. She gets a little bit of a roll, so she's going to have a little bit of a tester. All she needed to do was just nestle that up right next to the basket, tap it in, and she's walking away.
Oh, here it comes. I don't think he knew what we were doing. He's like, get well up there.
She's up again already. This is for her par.
Boy, yeah, Paige Bjerkaas is just having a very, very difficult go here in the early goings. And, you know, a lot of it from our perspective here in the booth is decision making. I don't know why she even gave that half of a run coming up that hill. Chip it up 5 feet short and tap it in and move on. She hit it, rolls away. And here we have Kat. Boy, with Kat, it almost seems like you put her 25 feet away. It's going in the basket. She is putting incredibly well.
When I need to check the wind, I just let out my hair.
Disc golf is 90% mental. The other 10% also mental.
If you want to make new friends on the course, pick up someone's disc in the fairway by accident.
Stay getting birdies, my friends.
Stay getting birdies, my friends. A par there for Madi Walker. 2 birdies for Katrina and Paige Bjerkaas is going to walk away with a bogey. And we'll move up the hill to hole 9 here, Val. Here we go. The big Paragon.
Yes. So hole 9 is 747 feet. Another beautiful view of the bay. It's a huge, crushing downhill shot. There is an OB line that rides the whole right-hand side, but players are going to just want to crush it down, land on the left-hand side to give themselves an open look at an upshot. I think this has really great birdie potential as long as you can get enough distance off that drive and give yourself a nice little pitch-up upshot. But this is my favorite hole of the whole course. This is a fun drive to throw. There's not a lot of super fun shots where you can just unleash. But I feel like this one's just a little bit more wide open than some of the other fairways.
Yeah, definitely, because the OB line on the Hyzer side for backhanded players, there's no OB line over there.
Right.
So it's just sort of grip it and rip it down there, avoid the big tree that's, I think it's showing about 400 feet off the tee. Just get it down there. And, you know, I think you're right. It's a birdie opportunity for our leaders for sure.
Yeah, and where the basket sits, it's among a bunch of other large eucalyptus trees. And so it's just a beautiful green. And yeah, this is really fun shot. And I think I got a birdie on this last year.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at the top 10 leaderboard. And there you go. You see it. 7 under par for Katrina Allen, 5 under par for Paige Pierce, 3rd place all the way back down at even par for Paige Bjerkaas. Madi Walker at 1 over, tied with Erica Stinchcomb. And then we have Sarah Holcomb tied with Elaine King, as well as Rebecca Cox, who's still 3 under par through 9 holes. So Rebecca not playing so well yesterday, but having a nice round today. And then it's Kona Starpanis, as well as Hannah Macbeth down there filling out our top 10. So it's really elongated out. This is now a tournament of individuals just playing their game, not worrying about the scores, just do the best you can.
Yep, and we see the two best players in the world really spacing themselves away from each other. Paige just looking to unleash.
And what do we call this, Val? This thing is par-a-gone. What a huge shot there. There it is, the par-a-gone bomb down this 9th hole for Paige Pierce. That was an awesome drive. Boy, I think we already missed Katrina throw. This group was playing quick.
Ooh, nice, Madison. Great shot.
Nice shot there by Madi Walker. Just finishing on that left side. She's going to have pretty much a straight shot. There's a couple of low branches to navigate over there, but she's put herself in good position. And here's Bjerkaas. Oh, she's pulled this down to the right. This needs to get lucky, which it kind of has. It's missed everything. Is it going to come back far enough? That's the big question. We'll find out here as we move down the fairway. Quick commercial break. We'll see you at the bottom of the hill.
Zuka is now producing limited edition color choices. Zuka can add custom embroidery to the front and/or sides of the bag. Zuka is now producing limited edition color choices. Zuka can add custom embroidery to the front and/or sides of the bag.
And here we are back in the booth. We can report that Katrina Allen's drive is nicely in the middle of the fairway after her first shot. We did miss that, which is unfortunate. And we just see our players now conversing about Paige Bjerkaas' drive. It seems as if she did finish out of bounds, and she's going to have to take her lie pretty far back.
Yeah, and she did fly out on the right-hand side of those trees. So yeah, she will be taking it pretty short. So she's got a lot of work to do to make her way up and down the fairway.
Yeah, it seems as if there's a drop zone. So I think I'm guessing the group has potentially determined that Paige never actually did cross in bounds, as the teeing area is on the OB side of things. So she might just be heading directly to that drop zone. And it looks like she is going to be doing that. Or at least there's conversation about that at this point. I think it would be smart to take the drop zone at this point. It's a nice flat area up there, and she could get nice footing and get potentially a big pull on this and put herself down there in position.
Exactly. And as the fairway just continues to slope down to the basket, getting enough footing is important. So she still has about 675 feet or so to the basket. So she's got to get a big crush on this.
Yeah, our caddy book doesn't tell us how far it is, but she's got a nice turn up on that. So she'll be down there in chipping range, chipping it into the green. And so she's lying 3 there. She'll be throwing her 4th shot, which will be a fairly long, at this point, I would say just pitch it up under the basket. Let's move on to the 10th hole, as the green does sort of slightly slope away here on the 9th.
Right. If you have any troubles off the tee, it's just making this hole seem even longer. And just one of those holes, as long as you can get the drive out there, it makes the hole seem relatively easy. So we are seeing a nice little gallery forming as the other 3 players work their way down to their drives.
Yeah, you can really see how steep it is. You know, they've played basically just one hole up from this lower area, and now they got to play one turnaround, play right back down. It's this is quite a walk. This Glen Eagles Golf Club. Again, we are here at the San Francisco Open, presented by AbsolutXtracts and powered by Innova Champion Discs. And we're here in the second round. This is our lead card live coverage here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We're happy that the live coverage is presented by MVP Disc Sports. You see Madison Walker lining up for her second shot. Madi not happy with it because she didn't completely go for it all the way, but she's actually done okay there. Put herself in a good position. That's a makeable birdie putt for Madi Walker.
Oh, for sure. She's about 20 feet from the basket, so that tree did save her from skipping off farther away from the basket to the right. So this is a good look at the basket that Katrina has. You can see there's just a lot of room on the left-hand side, so she's choosing to go with the sidearm, utilize as much of the fairway as she can, and that'll allow her to get a little bit more distance. Let's see if she can dial it in.
I'd call that dialed in. That's going to be inside the circle. You know, with the way she's been putting, she's only 5 feet away from the basket. So let's just call that a birdie there for Katrina Allen. Beautiful shot by her. Feeling very comfortable at this point. Paige Pierce. Pretty much just a dead straight look.
Yeah, this is a really nice view. But when the door is wide open, it puts a little bit pressure to have the perfect shot. Woo! She was running at that.
Yeah, she really was giving it a little bit of a run and going just a little bit long. So it's not a gimme for her at all, but she'll have a birdie opportunity. So 3 birdie opportunities with Paige Bjerkaas still out there in the chipping zone, just to chip into this green. Paige had gone out of bounds off the tee.
And that was a beautiful upshot. Even had a little bit of a chance to throw it in from that distance. Oh yeah, she's just ready to be done with this hole. Give herself a fresh start on hole 10.
Yeah, going into that back nine, she's looking for a fresh start for sure. We'll see our players just kind of working now down to the green. Got Paige Pierce working her way into this. You know, it's funny. She gave it a run, but now she's just outside the circle now. Again, as that green slightly slopes away from the players as they're throwing into the green.
As I was describing that upshot, I mean, it was just wide open. And so when you make an error like this, it is so frustrating. She needed to just be next to the basket for a drop in, and now she still has to continue to work.
Yeah, and something must have distracted Paige Pierce. I think there was still some of the fans maybe trying to work their way in to see this putt. And so she had to take just a second there to step off. And having to step off again. So we're not quite sure exactly what's bothering her. Now she's back in there. This is now the 3rd time. And again. So this is the 3rd time she's stopped, and now she's set up for the 4th time. And missing that basket up above. Slight headwind just kind of kept it up there. How tough is that though, really, when you have to step off that many times?
It's really frustrating. I'm surprised she didn't actually pinpoint out the distraction to make sure that it wasn't going to distract her while she was actually putting. So I'm not sure if it still was in her mind, but good putt from Madison there. That was for a birdie.
Yeah, it was. And Madison Walker still working her way back from that triple bogey she took.
Still a tester putt with a little bit of weird footing, but right in the heart.
Before each round, inspect the clamps in the handle pole and tighten if needed. Many Zuka Kart users have found the middle pole section to be the most effective place to attach it. Also, you can remove the pouch without undoing the Velcro.
So we just got word the distraction was a couple of our spectators out there. So unfortunate for Paige, but tap-in birdie for Katrina Allen. That'll move her to 8 under par. We're going to quickly get over to 10, Val. Breakdown hole 10. What do we got?
Hole 10. This is another fun boomer shot. We do see that there's out of bounds lines on the left and the right-hand side. So just make sure that that first drive lands yourself inbounds and set you up for that second drive that you're going to have to do. The fairway does open up a little bit, and you got to get into the trees, a little bit of a low ceiling, but this is another birdie opportunity. It's a big, long fairway. It's a fun crusher boomer shots out there. So we did see Paige Pierce actually throw past the basket on her second shot, and so she was running at eagle yesterday. So we might see a little bit more of that today, especially a little frustrating hole that she just had. So maybe wanting to unleash a little bit of that frustration right here.
Yeah, that is so frustrating when, she was, the best drive of the group and not able to convert the birdie. We're not missing Katrina this hole. Here she goes. All about keeping it in bounds off this tee shot. She's done that perfectly. Got to give Madison Walker a bit of a boost here. She took that triple bogey back on 6, but other than that, she's played fairly solid. She's got 3 birdies on her round. So nice job by Madi.
And come on back.
Just get on the ground.
She's going to be testing that OB on the right-hand side, which is just along that tree line. So it will be interesting to see where she lands there. A little close-up of the PDGA sponsorship banners there. Let's see if Paige can keep this safe while also getting that distance down the fairway.
It's got to get down. It has to get down. Come on. Oh, and just taking that last bit of roll. Paige Pierce is out of bounds. She's far enough down there where I think she can still get into the green and potentially save birdie on this one. But eagle is now out the door. Oh, this looks beautiful by Paige Bjerkaas. And it is perfectly in the middle. Best shot of all 4 of them. We'll take a quick break and see it down in the fairway.
Passion is more than fiery emotion. It feeds the spark to start your day. It fuels your obsessions. It inspires your dreams. Passion challenges your fears, and it repeatedly bathes you in sweat until you are transformed into a new, better you. Disc golf isn't just your passion, it's ours too.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Jones. I'm here with my brand new Prodigy BP3 V2 backpack, and I'm loving this thing a lot. It's extremely lightweight. It's carrying all the discs I could ever ask for. It's pretty sturdy and durable. I've got my 2 putters up here, no problem. Room for a towel if need be. It's really lightweight, it's extremely efficient, and for all you, it's extremely affordable, so come check it out.
And here we are back in the booth. So we've played 9 holes. And incredible how quick just 9 holes has changed things here in our tournament.
Yes, it has. And we were saying it was a 2-1 race, and all of a sudden we're starting to see Paige just give up a few strokes. And so Kat is really taking that stride, and she is at 8 down for the total tournament, and Paige Pierce is 3 strokes now behind her, and Paige just threw her tee shot out of bounds, so giving up another stroke possibly on this hole. But Paige really needs to continue to put the pressure on Katrina. Otherwise, Katrina is going to start running away with it. When you have that little bit of cushion, it just builds on to the confidence, and you just continue to keep that momentum going, and she could be just running away with it.
You're right. I mean, it's Kat's confidence right now is we haven't seen this in a few years from her. She looks very, very confident, and that spells disaster for the other players. But we'll see how it comes together. There's still a lot of storylines to come through here. Madison Walker was out of bounds off the tee, and she unfortunately hit something there short. So she's now lying 3, throwing her 4th shot from still pretty far back.
Right. And this is a par 5. So it's a big hole, and there's a lot of throws that can happen, but it's tough to be laying 3 from still. I don't even think she's halfway up the fairway yet. Here we go. Katrina threw a low shot, but it kept her right in the middle. So now she is in a good position to just crush this.
And this is what these players want. They want to put that drive inbounds and then just unleash down there. And Kat's just at the entryway into the woods that sort of protect this 10th green, playing the hole very nicely to this point. Again, the confidence is just flowing out of Katrina Allen right now.
And that's not the basket we're going for, although it seems like it from this angle. But that is the basket of hole 6. And here's the view of the fairway.
And Paige Bjerkaas is not one of the bigger throwers on the tour, and so she's playing this hole for birdie. She's put herself on the proper side with just now 1 tree to beat as she'll go through that main gap that heads into the green area there, and so again, just sort of game planning this course for Paige Bjerkaas.
Yeah, she does have a good little pop though, so she did have a nice crush off the tee. But here we see, hey, look at how close that disc is to be inbounds. But it's just barely out of bounds, so she is now throwing her 3rd shot. But as you said, she could still be looking at a par or potentially a birdie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's so far down there. She was 50 feet past the pin.
On her 2nd shot yesterday.
Exactly. And what we see here, I believe, is just Paige Pierce waiting for possibly the pin to clear. And so we just see that group up there, and they're just going to be still finishing the hole.
Being so far back here, it's tough to describe to somebody that hasn't played at the most elite level, but we know that Paige is trying to dial in one of those gaps through the trees. She got enough power on that. Let's see if it's low enough to come under the trees. But
still, you see that blue flag there, and that's going to put her just about 38 feet away from this basket, and so she's going to have a birdie opportunity there, which is incredible, being that she was OB off the tee. But again, it is a par 5. Here's Madison. Boy, interesting location where she is. It's possible that she was also OB on her next shot. But there you go. She's now up on the left side, so she'll be in that sort of chipping up range at that point. And so just a little bit of trouble here for Madi. But boy, what a shot by Paige Pierce to give herself a birdie opportunity and kind of, make good on what that unfortunate OBT shot was, and still giving herself that opportunity.
Yeah, and it helps that you can throw 450 feet so you can recover from that position. I mean, a player like myself, if I would throw out of bounds, there'd be no way I could reach the basket from that position. So Paige does have that advantage with her distance, and yeah, she's putting herself in a really good spot. And from where she's putting, it's completely wide open too. So there's no trees in her way. So it's just going to be gunning for it. And as we know, we could see the flag blowing a little bit there. It is a tailwind. So that's also the fortunate side to be on.
Yeah, the fog really hasn't quite fully lifted this morning. And so the breeze is there. It's brisk. But here we see Paige Bjerkaas just putting a little too much heat on it. And she's going to be just at the circle's edge on the backside of this 10th hole. So that'll be her birdie putt there. And, it's, again, like I said, Paige Bjerkaas is, she has distance. It's not her main forte. And so she's played this hole quite nicely, give herself a birdie opportunity there.
And it's a tough shot. You get a lower ceiling, and you're just having to judge the distance on a straight shot. I'd rather judge a distance on a hyzer and bring it in. It's always difficult to judge how much power you're putting behind the disc. You want to make sure you're reaching it, but not throwing too far past and dialing it in just right. Katrina just lays up right underneath the basket. So that will be a drop-in birdie.
Yeah, this is becoming a common thread. Going all the way back to hole 4 for Katrina Allen, she birdied 4 and 5, parred 6, which is essentially a birdie, and then has birdied 7, 8, 9, and now 10. So what an incredible run by Katrina Allen.
Yeah, you can see, now the sun's coming out, but you can see how she just played this hole. It was directly down the fairway each time, gaining distance, and then so accurately putting it up right next to the basket. So she played this hole almost as perfectly as you can.
So here's Paige Pierce for birdie. Oh, and just a little bit on the left side. You could see her reaction there. She just wants that extra bit of reach. There it is. She's just reenacting it, excuse me. And yeah, she really wanted that. That would have been a big confidence boost for Paige Pierce, who is now going to lose another stroke to Katrina Allen.
Yeah, that would have been unreal. I mean, just to have a little bit of an error, but to make up for it so insanely with a huge jump putt, that would have been, like you said, a huge confidence builder.
This is Paige Bjerkaas for birdie, a much-needed birdie, I have to say. This would be a huge putt and a great way to start the back nine. And what a putt it was for Paige Bjerkaas. There it is, Val. She needed that one big time and was able to cash it in.
Yep, there's a birdie on her scorecard, the first one of her whole round. She had 5 bogeys today, so that cleans up one of them. And that was Madison for her bogey.
Yeah, Madison did go OB, got caught up early, so she was just able to get the bogey there. And we'll see Paige Pierce come in. This will be Paige's par putt, and you can still see Katrina's disc there. She's just hanging around, just waiting to tap in her birdie. And there's Paige confirming that par, and Katrina Allen's going to extend her lead by even one more shot. It'll be a 4-stroke lead. And here she comes, and there it is. And now we'll move over to hole 11. Val, what do we got on hole 11?
Hole 11, it is 302 feet. It's an Hyzer shot or a huge sidearm. I would expect to see Hyzer throws from all 4 of our ladies. It works its way slightly uphill gradually the entire way. And while the distance seems like it's within their reach, it's just a tough angle as you're shooting out of the trees, up the hill, and trying to avoid some branches. So we were joking around yesterday. I mean, you want to throw a high shot so you can continue to climb the hill, but you still need to throw it low enough to clear the branches. So it's a really touchy shot. You got to have enough power on the disc to reach the basket. So even though they can reach it, it's gonna be a tough one to get.
Yeah, you're right. And this starts a stretch of I think we talked about. I think it's 6 straight par 3s. So as we said, through the first 10 holes, we played 2 par 5s. We've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 par 4s. As well, and just a few par 3s at this point. So now the ladies are going to have this run of par 3s, some birdie opportunities, but also some difficult ones as well.
And Katrina Allen is sitting at 4 straight birdies. So getting a birdie here would make it 5, but there's those branches we were talking about. A little high, so she catches those, lands short, just halfway up the fairway.
I saw just a little bit of slippage off that tee for her, that back foot slipping out. And so maybe that's why it did end up the way that it did. Here's Paige Bjerkaas off of the birdie, keeping it low.
And a little too low.
And from my experience in practicing and playing this last year, if you don't have the power to go at least in this next cut above and to be able to get up and around there, it's just super hard to get all the way up to that basket just because of that late slope. I think Paige Pierce has the power to go into that next cut just a little bit more height, a little bit wider, where the gap is a little bit more open. Oh, but she's just totally snapped this over. And it's just going to cut roll out in the middle, and she's going to have about 100 feet into this basket.
Just a tricky shot, and it does have a little bit of a bowl on the left-hand side. So discs, if they don't turn enough, they do end up flaring out to the left. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll meet up with them in the fairway.
I can throw this disc around the world in 1 shot.
Never play disc golf too far into the jungle. There may be cheetahs.
Someone on your card can't recall if they threw a 6 or a 7. It was probably an 8.
See? Stay getting birdies, my friends.
What do you think, flatness and stiffness on this?
Somewhat flat, neutral stiffness. This is a good disc right here.
Purple and orange. Got it. 2 more.
Danny, this is the sick one.
Dude, I gotta get through all these today.
Cheers to a good day, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a hard day.
That's great.
Back live now. This is Paige Pierce. She's going to be about 100 feet from the basket. Just way out in the middle of this fairway. There's nothing really to worry about. There's just, I guess she can jump out 100 feet, Val. Yeah, pretty much right around 100 feet. So
yeah.
Nice little upshot there.
She does do that a lot. She doesn't really have that touch of a upshot So she does like to go back to her jump putt to make sure that she's throwing the disc directly on the line that she's reaching for. So just a little bit of a jump gives her enough momentum. Yeah, we will see her do that. Even though she wasn't going for it, that was a layup. I don't know, but that one looked like a little bit more of a go for it for Paige Bjerkaas.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're just at the edge of circle 2, so definitely in the range of Paige Bjerkaas, and just missing it on the left side. It was a decent run, I would say. And here we have Katrina Allen. With a nice little chip up, sort of, maybe if it goes in, maybe that would be awesome, but otherwise just nice and close, nothing to worry about.
And it's a good basket to go for. It's got a little bit of a backdrop with a slight uphill just behind it.
Wind starting to just start to pick up, and Madi giving it some good heat just on the completely wrong line. So a little bit of a misread there, we would call it. And
she looked at her hand and, what are you doing, hand? Sometimes the hand and the brain don't connect as much as you want, but she's just right there. I mean, 10 feet away. So that's not a big deal at all. And looks like just a bunch of tap-in pars on this hole. Nobody is able to get it close enough. It's just that much tricky. It's just that tricky. And we're going to head our way over to hole 12. Another little bit of a tricky shot. It's 321 feet. We're now shooting downhill this time. I think this hole sets up really good for a sidearm. So we're going to work our way down, and the fairway moves from left to right as we see that the basket is tucked into those trees here. It's just really tough to get into the basket here. We saw that Katrina threw a roller, which I think is a really good play. She's probably the only one that will pull out a roller on this one, and really the only one that throws rollers in the FPO division, but this is a good chance for that. Otherwise, if you're throwing that and Hyzer, the gravity is just pulling you downhill. So just pulling you farther away from the basket, making that up shot really tough. So yeah, this hole just made me feel uncomfortable last year. It's really hard to reach with the backhand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Val. And we now see Katrina rehearsing this roller line she's looking to take. If you have a good enough sidearm with the shortening of this hole that they've done, there's a really good possibility. And that is going to be a park job for Katrina Allen. Incredible. Nice roller by Katrina. Just awesome. But I mean, if you have a big enough sidearm in this hole, you can get up in there, because it's only, what'd you say, 302?
320.
Or 320. So yeah, it's not so bad. And we're seeing now Paige Bjerkaas lining that sidearm up.
And slightly downhill, but you got to make sure that you're getting enough distance. And it looks like she has. She's landing herself right in that opening. And she has impressed herself. Not typically a sidearm thrower, so that's always fun to see.
Yeah, the words at her mouth were, "Did you see that sidearm?" That was a good sidearm there for her.
We all saw it, Paige. It was awesome.
Paige Pierce, is beating the tree there, and she's now put herself inside the circle. So nice shot there by Paige. Nice controlled backhand. Here's Madi. I like this as well. A little too much turn, though. It's going to kind of cut roll out. Surprised we didn't see a sidearm there. Quick break. We'll see you in the green.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
We're now back on the green. Katrina Allen is right there for birdie. Paige Pierce has a birdie putt, and we have now Paige Bjerkaas after that sidearm, just about 65 feet. She's going to do that walk through jump putt. Flared it up high, asking it to get down. Oh, and that was just did not complete the putt really there at all.
In a little bit of an early release, you just see that she did not extend her arm enough to the basket. Flared off a little bit, and with that slope of the green, she's going to end up about 20 feet below the basket, shooting her way up, and hopefully no trees or bushes in her way. This is going to be an interesting shot from Madison. We're seeing her trying to set up her straddle putt. Oh, but look at this angle of the tree. I mean, the tree is just completely almost horizontal.
Yeah, I mean, did she react? I didn't quite see it. Did she rehearse the other direction? Was there just not enough?
She did line it up, but yeah, I would have
She
taken
has that
the other
pull
route.
stroke. She has that nice pull stroke, especially coming up the hill. You can get a little bit more air under it. So interesting decision there for Madi Walker. This putt has to go down for Paige Pierce. This is a must make right now.
She had the adrenaline a little too much, hits the band, but she did need that one. Katrina is right there for her birdie, so she'll get another stroke on Paige. So here's the tester putt for Bjerkaas for a par.
We're back in a common thread here. Katrina Allen putting out last. Incredible birdie there. She's going to move to 10 under par. We're going to walk up the hill to the 13th hole. Val, what do we got on 13?
Hole 13, it's another par 3. It's 327 feet. There is no out of bounds on this one. Take a look at that course map. But this is a tricky shot. The fairway slopes from right to left. And so for a backhand hyzer throw, you have to throw it out wide, and you're playing that angle. So hoping to land a little bit to the right of the basket in case you get a skip. You do not want to throw to the left or throw at the basket, because you will end up way far down the hill, and it's going to be really hard to even get a birdie look. So if you want to get a birdie on this, it's all about that angle.
Yeah, you're right. It is all about that angle. And the map didn't show any OB at all. I think there is the golf green, maybe. I mean, if you were to get long enough, the golf green might be down there. But let's not worry about that for now. Let's just quickly, while the ladies walk up the hill there, let's just talk about Katrina Allen. She's 7 under par through 12 holes. No bogeys. Gone on these long runs of birdies. You know, and Paige Pierce just sort of, I mean, Paige Pierce is 2 under par for the round. It's not like she hasn't been playing well, but when the leader of the tournament is just moving further and further under par, you got to get something going, and it's got to be quick here.
Yes, it does. And we just have about a handful of holes left in this round, and then one more round tomorrow. But Katrina is really picking up the momentum. 7 down for the round.
That's impressive.
That's really impressive, and bogey free at that. So she's eliminated all the errors from her book. And as we move our way down for the next couple holes, there are some OBs that come into play. So there's still a lot of challenge up ahead to continue that bogey-free streak. Sit 10 down for the tournament, double digits.
It's impressive stuff. We've said it a lot. She's playing well this year, and We got to mention Erica Stinchcomb. She's still 3 under par through 14 holes. So Erica playing really nicely. In fact, it's possible that and she's come up 6 places. So that's a nice bit of movement, probably the #1 mover today. Definitely in the top 10 for sure. She's through 14 holes. So we might get to see Erica tomorrow, depending on how Paige Bjerkaas and Madison Walker finish up this round. And here we go. Cat pulling it out to the right, but it's nice and stable. We can see it hyzering in there. That's the second circle, so she's in between circle 1 and circle 2.
Wow, that was so wide. I thought she was going to catch the branches just out the chute there. But yeah, that worked out really well. Playing the wide route is really key. Just let the disc do the work.
Yeah, about picking that line on the hill. This looks beautiful if it's got the right speed. Oh, it definitely has the right speed. Nice shot there by Paige Bjerkaas. Exactly what she needed. She's playing well in these first 4 holes of this back 9.
Yeah, that's the best shot I've seen on this hole. She is parked.
Parked. And here's Paige Pierce, a little bit inside, so that's going to be low left. That needs to sit down.
Or go in the basket.
Yeah,
No.
She did this yesterday. She was on the left side. That's in bounds, but she just is not completing that line up on that high right side.
No. Didn't release it on the right line and just a little bit high. Also a little bit high. Got a sharp angle. She's going to end up on the left-hand side as well. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll see what their putts look like in a second.
When you order from Dynamic Discs, we do our best from start to finish. First, we receive your order from the website and print out the packing slip detailing the specific items you selected. Then, your order is pulled directly from the shelves, packed in a cardboard box to prevent bending during transit, and quickly on its way to you with free shipping. For every purchase online with Dynamic Discs, you'll receive rewards points so you can save on your next order. We'll work with you to make sure you get the exact disc you're looking for. For anything from Dynamic Discs, Latitude 64, or Westside Discs, head to dynamicdiscs.com.
Before each round, inspect the clamps in the handle pole and tighten if needed. Many Zuka Kart users have found the middle pole section to be the most effective place to attach it. Also, you can remove the pouch without undoing the Velcro. If you are flying to a tournament or disc golf vacation, the cart easily disassembles and packs into a suitcase and can be checked as baggage.
We're back here from behind the basket on 13. Our first competitor to play is our leader, Katrina Allen, who took a little bit too wide of a line and wasn't able to feed it far enough down the hill. This is just a chip.
She has a snack in her hand while she threw that up shot. Did you see that?
I mean, she's multitasking, Val. She's leading the tournament, killing it, and also multitasking. Incredible stuff.
That's when you take.
And here we see Paige Pierce, who left her drive just a little bit high. And so now she's really kind of penned up behind this tree just outside circle 1.
And here's one of those shots where you could get greedy to go for it, but you do not want to hit that tree.
Yeah, don't want to hit the tree because there's roller potential. If you hit that, you could kick and roll behind you.
And it's one of those things you see when somebody's going for a big putt like this. Just get it up to the basket, Paige.
Wow, made a really nice effort, barely missing it. And you can see just the frustration. She's saying, put it high, get it up, get it in. And good effort there, though, I would say, from our perspective. Here's Madi. Oh, and Madi putting too much swing on it. And it cut rolling back behind the tree. She's still going to be up at this point. She's going to have to work her way down. And it looked to me as if she rolled right behind a big tree.
Yeah, it did. She is such an aggressive putt. So whenever she's going for something, and if she misses, I mean, she is flying past the basket. I mean, when she's making them, she is on, but you just don't want these testers all the time. You know, sometimes this makes the best putter because you're always putting yourself in this position, but this is not what you need to get a consistent round. Wow, and so straddling out to the left-hand side. Tough angle to see where that tree is actually kind of bending into her line.
Hi guys, I'm Alyssa Van Lannen. You've probably seen me hiding in front of the tee pad or laying in the bushes trying to get the best shot. For the best moments in disc golf on and off the course through my photos and videos, check out patreon.com/Alyssa Van Lannen.
And we're back, and that's just an unfortunate birdie to bogey type position for Madison Walker. But there's Paige Bjerkaas tapping in that birdie, the only birdie of the group. She's played nicely through these first 4 holes after having just a really difficult front 9 at 5 over par. She's 2 under par for this back 9. Madison will just tap in. They have a longer-ish walk up the hill, but we'll take a look at 14. What do we got on 14, Val?
Hole 14 is the shortest hole on the course, 263 feet. Players are making their way to up the hill. So it's a slight grade up the hill. So you can go for the tunnel shot on the left-hand side or choosing this little shortcut. So it's right off of the tee pad, playing the right-hand side and playing the golf green, but making your way back to the basket. And we've said it in the last 2 rounds that we've covered, that is the play that we like. So it's avoiding any of that hill on the left-hand side. It's avoiding all the trees, taking that out of play really early. And yeah, I would say the left hand or the right hand Hyzer shot is the way to go.
Yeah, in this booth right here, there's no arguing. We like the Hyzer line. You know, we've seen that straight line be executed through these, you know, the first 2 rounds. We saw Macbeth throw it nicely. Paige Pierce threw it nicely up the gut yesterday. But, you know, it's just, to me, the odds are eventually going to catch up to you trying to hit that line. And, you know, I think that the Hyzer line is definitely the way to go. But we'll see what happens as our players are still working their way up to this tee pad. And, you know, that was but I do have to just say, we've now seen Paige Bjerkaas come back under par for the tournament. She's 1 under par now, just 3 over for this round. And she started our day as the leader. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's a pretty big fall for her, but also nice job by her to pick it up on this back 9 and get a couple birdies, getting a little bit momentum back. There's quite a few birdie opportunities still for our players.
Yes, there is. And yeah, she was struggling a lot in those first 9 holes. She was sitting at 5 over. So 2 birdies, bring herself back into just +3 for the round. But the story is Katrina Allen is just on fire right now. She's 7 under for the round. Her closest competitor is Paige Pierce, who's at 2 under for the round, but sitting 5 strokes back for the whole tournament behind Kat.
See a couple of different discs for Paige Bjerkaas, and it looks as if she's going to line up this sort of straight up the gap type of situation. The big thing they got to be concerned about is the kicks off the tree. There's a golf green to the left that's OB. This is on a nice line, though. Missed that tree. Not too bad of a kick, though. Still right in the middle of the fairway. So good shot there by Paige Bjerkaas, avoiding any sort of disaster. And we see Katrina Allen, our leader, lining up the Hyzer line.
So there is the mandatory blue sign. So there is another line just beyond that tree.
Executed very nicely.
It's a nice shot. Not enough distance on that one, but
it actually was perfect distance. She was pin high there, and she's going to have a great birdie opportunity. She played that perfectly. That's exactly what you want to do. It's just surprising me that more players don't take that line. Here's Paige Pierce. Got it a little on the right side. Oh, and hits the third big tree up there. She's going to have a tough look.
And that's the thing. Going the tunnel shot, you're just bringing in all the trees. And so both Paiges are now going to take their putts from behind that huge tree. Hopefully they can straddle out around it, but that tree is massive. And another one up the gut.
Flex. All right, so decent shot there for Maddie. She's going to have a birdie putt. Quick break. We'll see you up on the green. We're going to call this 68 feet for Paige Pierce. Lining up the turnover jump putt. Just overturned it a little bit too much. And, you know, it's a difficult, opportunity to try to make.
It is. That was a huge putt. And on a hole that she threw 200 feet down the fairway. So left herself with a 60-footer. I mean, that's not giving yourself the best opportunity. And Paige Bjerkaas giving it a run, but again, just so far away from the basket.
Yeah, again, just in a position to just sort of chip it up there. It is, it's outside circle too. It's, which is an outside chance. We don't see a lot of those big putts go in from our ladies players. I mean, it happens, of course. But even from our men's players, we don't see a lot of, outside circle 2 putts go in. There's Madison Walker. We'll call this 48 feet. Oh, and Maddie not giving it enough, and maybe a little bit of gun shyness from the last putt that went from birdie to bogey, and so she'll have a par. And now we see Katrina's drive there, taking the Hyzer line with the best opportunity for birdie.
Really the one with the only opportunity. Doesn't capitalize on that, so it's just a bunch of pars for the lead card.
And here we are, Paige Pierce. What a putt there by Paige. We from our perspective, we couldn't see how far she had gone by there, but that's a nice putt there by Paige. And as you said, Val, just a bunch of pars for our lead card on this 14th. I think we were a little bit surprised with Katrina missing that putt there, and she'd been putting so well. And here we are, 15 down the hill.
Hole 15 is 385 feet. It's a par 3. It's a downhill drive. down to a tricky elevated green, and the basket sits on a little bit of a stump. So if you do want to go for the putt, you need to make sure that your drives are landing close to the basket. I expect we'll see nice wide and hyzer shots just working their way down the hill and feeding toward the basket. I think that's the best shot on this hole.
Yeah, with the shorter tee pad from the men's players, it is a little bit more accessible. We saw a couple birdie opportunities, but we also saw them get close and then just lay it up too. So
right.
I think this and 18 are the two toughest greens. But I think this is the toughest just because that elevated and it's just sloping off so far on all the sides.
It's the toughest putting green, I would say.
Yeah.
You have to be on the right side of the basket. You want to be actually short of the basket to have a tailwind putt toward it. If you go past the basket, you're going to have a headwind. And when you have a headwind in an elevated basket, I mean, you're just exposing the bottom side of the disc to the wind. It's just really tough to control the angle and the forward momentum of that disc. So give yourself that tailwind putt, but at the same time, if you're going to ask for everything, you might as well just park it too.
I mean, if we're asking for stuff, we always want to park it, I guess, make it easy. Outside birdie opportunity, let's just quickly talk about what we're seeing also on the scorecard, something that we have sort of mentioned real quickly. Sarah Holcomb, 2 under par now. So she's birdied the last 2 holes. She's moved into solo fourth at even par for the tournament. So that run we were asking of Sarah Holcomb has now come. And she's 2 under par, playing well here in the closing holes. And there we see Paige Bjerkaas. You know, it's throwing a backhand hyzer on this hole. You're just playing it for par, playing it down in the middle there. So really no harm, no foul there. It's a chip for her from there.
But this is all about trusting your disc. Katrina whipped it out there, but she turned it over just a little bit too much. That'll just be a upshot to the basket for her par.
Yeah, she was asking for it to get down. I mean, it's within 40 feet of the basket. I just think that, again, just how difficult this basket is. It takes a lot of guts to go for it. There's Paige, got it high. Nice turning. This looks, go in. Oh, just a little bit too much high and a little bit too much heat. What a run. I mean, if you're going to chip it up to the basket, you might as well run at it anyways, huh?
Yeah, if we're asking for things, let's keep asking.
Oh, I like this shot by Madi Walker. This looks beautiful. Does it have the distance? It does. She's on the front side, so she's going to be inside the circle. Birdie opportunity there. Quick break. We'll see you on the green. We're back in the booth. Some good shots there by our group on the 15th. I mean, you know, we're going to have one really what looked like a great birdie opportunity. We'll see where Paige Pierce ended up. I know there's a bunker back there. She did have a lot of heat on that, so we'll see where she landed. And we see Katrina here just going to be chipping up, as you said, Val. Smart move by her. I mean, at this point, 5-stroke lead. I mean, you just play smart, play your game, and just move forward. Paige Pierce chipping up, so she was safe.
And Madison Walker is the only one with a putting chance. Paige Bjerkaas threw her upshot next to the basket as well. So those are just 3 drop-in pars. But let's see if Madison can get a little bit of the confidence in that putt. She's got such a strong putt. Let's see how aggressive she is on this.
Yeah, and the clap there from Paige Bjerkaas, incredible birdie by Madison Walker. Yeah, what a beautiful putt there by Madison Walker. And she just stepped up with confidence and nailed it right in the heart. And that's what you like to see. She's still in the battle there for 3rd place. There we are, hole 15. Let's walk up that hill. Here's 16, Val, the island hole.
Hole 16 is 285 feet. It's slightly downhill the entire way. And it's the island hole. So as the drone continues to move down the fairway, you see this island. It's relatively big. So it's easy to land in, but once you get island in your mind, that just makes you choke up a little bit. We're going to see all sorts of shots. It's relatively wide open. So we're going to see discs coming in from different angles. It'll be interesting to see whether Madison goes for a sidearm or a backhand. But typically the wind is coming in over your right shoulder. So it's blowing right to left. So if you do choose the backhand shot, the wind is going to affect that more rather than the sidearm where the wind might just push it down. So if you have that sidearm in a nice line, you're just going to drop.
Yeah, with an island hole like this, it's just all about speed control, distance control. I feel like because we're coming downhill, that's really the main thing we've seen.
Yeah.
People are either short or long, usually not too far left or right. So it's all about distance control.
And to me, it's a mid-range shot, and I expect to see all of these ladies throwing a mid-range disc. So if you're able to control, you have disc down, and you can throw it with a full amount of power. You can throw it at 100%. So that's just one thing you don't have to really worry about.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going with the Hyzer line, probably, overstable mid or maybe a fairway driver, maybe. But yeah, I mean, if sidearm could be a driver as well, just to control the, again, distance control.
And so this is a great view from behind the tee. If the wind is really ripping, you can take that wide right-hand shot. But we see Madison coming in, not just high enough.
It's way too wide, and it looks as if it is gone around the back of our cameraman even. It's OB on the backside, so she'll head directly to the drop zone. You can just see immediately out of her hand, it whipped just way too far to the left.
A little too wide and just not enough height to allow it to carry back in bounds. Right at the basket, Paige Bjerkaas. Let's see if it gets down. And a perfect shot. That was a laser beam of a throw.
Yeah, it was. That was a beautiful shot by her. Now we see Kat lining up this Hyzer line. I saw what looked more like a sort of a fairway driver in her hand. Just trying to, again, play distance control. She's missed everything and put it perfectly in the green, and the basket is just to the left there.
Paige is following Paige's suit with a nice straight shot.
Just getting over that keen wall. So 3 of them inbounds, 1 of them just missing by Madison. We'll take a quick break, see it down on the green.
If you guys like the H3 V2, but maybe you're looking for just a little bit more flip up and glide, the H4 V2 is going to be your disc. I'm absolutely loving it, and it filled a spot in my bag immediately.
We're back here with Madison Walker. She has made her way to the drop zone. About a 70-foot. Oh! Replay! Replay! Here it is. Look at this. A 75-foot bomb. Amazing. Wow.
That was
wow.
so good.
Awesome.
Wow. I didn't know if we'd be able to see that this weekend, but just like that, a little bit of body language, that did all the work, swooping back, cashing the chains.
That woke us up here in the booth, woke Madison Walker up. And there we go. Big putt there by Paige Pierce as well. Oh, man, that was exciting stuff.
There we go. We just need more shots like that.
Long throw-ins.
Just, 60, 70 footers. Not like we're asking for that much.
And that was a birdie by Paige Bjerkaas, and just our leader left, and there she goes. She taps it in. Impressive stuff by our group. Oh, man, we're just still excited in here. But that is 16 in the books. Let's take a look at 17, Val.
Hole 17. It's a par 4, 442 feet, and we're making our way up gradually back uphill. Starts off with a boomer off the tee. I would like to land on the left-hand side of the fairway, giving yourself a little bit more of an open shot up to the basket. There's not much to talk about this hole. It's a couple of shots, and when you're making your way up the hill, each throw just seems a little bit farther than it actually is. So you have the elevation to deal with, but the OB doesn't come into play. You just need to for me, this is a must get 3.
Mm-hmm.
It is a par 4, so it's out of the distance from anybody parking it, but this is a must get 3. It's a must get birdie.
I totally agree with you, and I think playing it out to the left side, even though it's a little bit lower on the hill, makes a more of an uphill second shot. I still think that left side is just it's wide open for a nice little sidearm coming in. But as our expert commentator said, it's a must 3 for our players here. So birdie opportunities. Katrina Allen is 8 under par for the round. She's moved to 11 under par for the tournament. Paige Pierce is 3 under for the round, 6 under par for the tournament. Paige Bjerkaas really chugging back nicely in this round, and she's now just 2 over for the round, 2 under for the tournament.
She's in 3rd place.
Yeah, and Sarah Holcomb is really battling back in there as well. So she's 2 under par even for the tournament. Erica Stinchcomb just has 1 hole left. We'll see if Erica can get that birdie or par on 18 to see if she can really solidify. She's been 3 under for about 10 holes, it seems like. So nice looking top 10 leaderboard there. And
Yeah, she had a good stretch of pars from hole 11 all the way to hole 15. She just parred along. She started that off with, she's got a couple of birdies midway through. It's nice to see her name up on the leaderboard like this. She's from Missoula, Montana. So it's fun to see new names up there and players like herself playing so well. I'm not sure what her finish was in the tournament last year, but I know she came out to this event and played a couple of the West Coast tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see your name up on the
Yeah,
board.
it is. She's had a really solid round, I would say. 300 par is right up there with our leaders. Of course, Kat's doing something very, very special here. But other than that, 300 par for Paige Pierce, 300 par for Erica. You know, two best rounds. Rebecca Cox is 200 par. She's been kind of hovering around that as well. So we're seeing some under par rounds, which is great. But
yeah,
I'm still excited from that putt we saw from Madi. I mean, how cool was that to see her be able to save her par on something that we said we didn't really think we would see much from that drop zone.
No, that's a big putt. I would have expected to see a lot of people just laying up, and especially with the way that her putt's been a little kind of 50-50 throughout the round. So, I mean, to see her go for that, and maybe she didn't go for it, but it was a beautiful, beautiful putt nonetheless.
Yeah, it was. It got us screaming and hollering here in the booth. You can tell we're players because when we see something like that, we're just immediately excited about it.
Yeah, and so unexpected too.
Yeah,
I think that's what caught us off guard there, but I'm sure everybody else is yelling just the same. It's about almost noon here on the West Coast. I was going to say that we've got the TVs on in the Bevel tap room, so hopefully some people are in the tap room now enjoying some beer, watching some great disc golf. So as we finish up, just 2 holes left in the second round of the San Francisco Open. It's been a fun day. This has been some really exciting golf. It's awesome to see that. I mean, Katrina's playing this round almost as perfect as you can.
Yeah, you know, she missed a pretty short putt on 14, so we could see maybe one better. The thing, when you really look at her round, 8 under par, you know, she hasn't really done anything all that special. I mean, as far as what looks like special, but really she's been incredibly controlled off the tee, incredibly controlled into the green. She's probably made only something like 35, 40 feet of putts over these you know, let's just call it the last 12 holes, a lot of tap-ins. So nice job by Kat. But you're right, entertaining, a lot of stuff to talk about. And here we see Paige Bjerkaas pulling it up on that right side. Now we'll see Katrina.
We see her pull out a roller. She did this yesterday. See the wind coming over the left side of her shoulder.
Yeah, she snapped that one, got a good cut on it. The wind is holding it up. It's just going to kind of fizzle out to the left side, but look how far she got up there. Her disc was rolling right at the edge of circle 2. So she's going to be only 80, 85 feet.
That's just going to be a chip up birdie.
Yeah, we've been using that word a lot today, chip. Maybe that's the word of the day, hashtag chip up, because we've seen a lot of that today. And this course sort of, we get a lot of that. If you're 80, 90 feet, you want to just chip it up close. Paige getting a good rip on it. She did this yesterday, put a little too much turn. This is flexing nicely. She's up there about 100 feet, 90 feet from the basket.
Yeah, we just saw the circle 2 flag, and she's even with the basket, so she's at the same elevation at as the basket, so she's going to have a straight shot across the hill. Madison not super stoked about that, but she's out in the open on the left-hand side, and we will catch up with her upshot in just a minute.
Before every round, tighten the wheel knobs. Remember to tighten both sides simultaneously using a clockwise motion. Only tighten the set screw once your wheel knobs have been tightened. To even more securely attach your umbrella holder, you can lower the handle by about 1 inch and then attach the clip just above the handle. You can turn the umbrella holder upside down to help secure the umbrella so it doesn't move from side to side.
And here's something to talk about, Val. I've talked a lot about here on 17, how I like this lower left. Look at how wide open this is for Madison coming up the hill. She's just got to pound this little sidearm up the hill, and she's done beautiful at that. I mean, this left side is just wide open. It's probably 50 to 60 feet between really any trees on that left side. So we see Madison's disc there inside the circle. We just saw Paige Bjerkaas step up quickly. And again, as our expert commentator, 4-time women's world champion Valerie Jenkins has said, this is a hole you want to get a 3 on. And so we see 2 pretty close in opportunities for 3, and our other 2 competitors are having just long chip ups at it. So they're playing 17 very, very well at this moment.
Wow, we just saw Paige Pierce duck behind the tree. So there she is again. But yeah, it's going to make a little bit trickier a shot. So she's judging whether she's going to go on the left or the right-hand side of that tree. This is a good view right here. Looks like the right-hand side is going to give her a couple more trees in the way. But she's choosing that route.
Oh, hit the basket.
Calling up the metal.
Yeah, there we go. Nice job by Paige.
And that is what you call pinned. And you can't get any closer to the basket than that. Katrina choosing the sidearm.
Nice job there by Katrina. We're looking at a possible star frame here. And boy, even though Maddie's putt on 16 was for par, that seemed like a star frame too. So nice, good play here towards the end. And if Paige Bjerkaas can get this birdie putt in, that'll put her 4 under par for this back 9. She was 5 over on the front. So let's see if she can lock this in. Oh, and just splashing out on that right side.
The PDGA has ignited the passions of professional and amateur members, paving the way for generation after generation of diehard players. Disc golf isn't just your passion, it's ours too.
And she has her putting stroke back with confidence.
I was looking back, and we just see Katrina here tapping out for birdie, and then we have our pin shot by Paige Pierce. So 3 birdies here on 17, and we'll quickly just move up the hill here and take a look at the 18th. Break the 18th down for us, Val.
Hole 18, it's a par 4. We're going to see the women's tee just on the right. It's 556 feet, but we can tell by the course map that there is OB that comes into play all along the right-hand side. There's an OB crater on the left-hand side, so that comes into play on the drive. But as we get up toward the green, there's a couple of hazards. There's the OB golf green. So the first part of the hole is just about landing yourself with enough distance to make that second shot a little bit shorter, because there's a lot of trouble up at the green. And you know, you're almost done with your round. You're just trying to finish up on this 18th hole, and strokes can add up just in the last couple of shots of this very hole. So.
Yeah, I mean, we just looked down. Erica Stinchcomb has actually bogeyed the 18th hole. It is such a difficult finishing hole, especially after such a long round. You know, I was looking at Madison's scorecard from yesterday, and now I look at it today. A lot of color on it. You know, Typically we see Madison is competing well in these events because she's very consistent, getting a lot of pars, picking up birdies when she can. But right now it seems as if she was just able to clean up some of these bogeys, she'd be doing a whole heck of a lot better, but still kind of hanging in there, just 1 over par for today's round, birdieing 2 of the last 3, of course, with that 80-foot, 75-foot throw-in to save her par on 16. So a lot of good stuff. If Katrina Allen is somehow able to birdie this 18th hole, which She did not birdie it yesterday. She actually threw into the crater and then saved her par from there. But if she was able to birdie this, she would move to 10 under par for the round, and I think that would be an incredible feat for Katrina and just an amazing round.
Yeah, it is so impressive. And to look at the scorecard, I mean, it's just like a birdie about every hole with just a few pars sprinkled in. So that's the kind of scorecard that people dream of. Paige Pierce is sitting in second place. Paige just doesn't have quite as many birdies. She's got a double bogey on the scorecard, a bunch of pars, and just a handful of birdies. So that is the difference between those two competitors. But really, they're the ones that are separating themselves from the rest of the field. So if Katrina wants to run away with this, she just needs to hold off Paige. But if Paige wants a chance, she better start picking it up in that third round.
Yeah, and I mean, there's something to be said about that. Obviously, Katrina is playing incredibly well. We still have 18 holes to play. I mean, let's just say it. We say this all the time. We've said it as competitors. We've said it as commentators. This is her tournament to lose at this point. She's playing clearly the best, and I would say, nice little high fives here. Good round by the ladies. It's been fun to watch. The sun is now popped out. They're going to have a great afternoon to enjoy. But, it's just one of those things where we still have 18 holes to play. You still have Paige Pierce, who's, I would call it lurking right now, 5 strokes back. And she loves these final rounds. So a lot of fun stuff potentially coming up tomorrow morning in our FPO side of things.
And it's looking like Sarah Holcomb is now tied with Madison, so we might see a different name on the lead card tomorrow. Sarah is just finishing up right now on this 18th hole. She has 1 out of bounds shot so far. So it's all about how Madison finishes up on this if she works her way back to stay on the lead card for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a potential that we'll see the exact same card depending on how Madi plays this, because Erica has in the clubhouse at 1 over par. It's possible if Sarah were to bogey as well as Madison, we could see Erica on the lead card, which I think for us would be pretty fun, just another new name. But of course, we'll see how it all plays out here in just a few moments.
And looks like we are live on the tee. There's Katrina up first.
The fog has lifted in San Francisco.
Oh.
She felt the wind. She was feeling the wind right there. It switched up right as she was coming forward, and as I was saying, the fog is lifted, and when the fog lifts in San Francisco, that's when the breezes start to blow. It's what keeps the city so temperate in its temperature, and here we are. She's now ready. Yesterday, she threw into that crater. She's got this one right down the middle. Perfect position for Katrina.
And what's interesting, I mean, typically her technique and her throw uses a lot of height. And what I'm seeing out of all these distance shots down the fairway today, just low laser shots. So especially in a windy type of course that we play on here, keeping them low and just right up the gut is the key. And Paige does just that. Able to get a little bit more distance. She's up on the hill a little bit farther than Katrina.
Yeah, as you're saying, Kat has played really controlled, keeping those shots low to the ground, maybe giving up 40, 50 feet, but, understanding that she can attack on the second shots. But Paige Pierce just bombing one there on 18. She's going to have an opportunity to go up into the green on 2 shots and potentially get a birdie, maybe gain another stroke on Kat. Oh, Madi needs to keep it turning. Oh, and she's done nicely. There you go. Beautiful shot by Madison Walker. At first, it came out a little left. I was concerned about that crater, but it had a nice turn on it.
And not impressed, immediately out of her hand, hits the side hill, but she'll be right in the middle of the fairway. And we will catch up with them on their second shots in just a minute.
When you order from Dynamic Discs, we do our best from start to finish. First, we receive your order from the website and print out the packing slip detailing the specific items you selected. Then, your order is pulled directly from the shelves, packed in a cardboard box to prevent bending during transit, and quickly on its way to you with free shipping. For every purchase online with Dynamic Discs, you'll receive rewards points so you can save on your next order. We'll work with you to make sure you get the exact disc you're looking for. For anything from Dynamic Discs, Latitude 64, or Westside Discs, head to dynamicdiscs.com.
As we come online here, we see Paige Bjerkaas just laying up. She got caught up on that right side. If you don't get enough distance off the tee, there's just no real way of going for this basket. So just laying up short of the golf green, and she'll have a chip up over, hashtag chip up over that green.
And she's just such a fast thrower, so I'm glad we were able to catch the rest of the flight. But she played the right-hand side of the green area, so it allows herself to have a little bit more space away from the out-of-bounds green and the OB or the hazard sand traps. So I think that was a good play, knowing she can't reach the basket.
And there you go. There are no strokes to be gained on Katrina Allen. So much control there, Val.
Yeah, that was huge. And playing the skip off of the grass up on a golf green is just so tight. So you're bound to get a skip if you've got enough power behind the disc. And she is 10 feet from the basket there. So that's going to be a drop-in birdie.
Yeah, and that's that double-digit round we're talking about. 13 under par she'll move to. 10 under par for the round. That round from Evelina back at the Memorial was the round of the year for me. This maybe overtakes it. 10 under par is just incredible. Look at Madi. She's going for it. She's got a good speed. It's got to sit, and it does. Just in front of the bunker.
That's a crazy game of golf. I mean, just being able to hit a little bit of that hillside slowed it down from creeping into the hazard sand trap. And it's tough for the players to see where their disc ends up. So it's just a little nerve-wracking until you actually get up to the green. But thankfully, we got some spectators watching and giving the players the approval by clapping when the disc lands inbounds. But look at the shot from Paige. I mean, she's almost even with the basket, like at the same elevation.
Yeah, she's had trouble with these shots so far in this tournament, and she's handled that one nicely, getting a little bit fortunate, I would say. She slid about halfway on that golf green. She has had trouble with some of those. She's obviously driving it amazing, but speed control coming into those greens has been a problem. So nice job there by Paige Pierce. She's going to hopefully keep pace there with Katrina, and we're looking at a great battle tomorrow with Katrina really having the control.
And Paige Pierce, Paige Bjerkaas, so quick. Throws a nice shot up there, lands it nice and safe. Last one to pretty much lay it under the basket to join the crew is Madison. We're going to see if she even has a little bit of a putt. She's now going to be even with the basket here.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably, I'm going to guess.
There's the circle.
Yeah, there's the circle, so we're going to see it right there. So, yeah, let's just call it 31 feet.
And what a great way to finish that round. She had a little bit of trouble there throughout the round, but what a great way. 3 down in the last 4 holes for Madison Walker.
With an 80-foot throw-in as well to save par. So utilizing that momentum there to birdie these last 2. Paige Bjerkaas able to sling it in there on that left side and shooting a 3 under par there on the back nine. That was a nice job by Paige to come back from really a lackluster front 9. But I better than anybody knows how quickly this course can get at you. I shot a 6 over in the front 9 last year in the final round, but that was nice for Paige Bjerkaas to just battle back. Here's our tournament leader. Katrina Allen for birdie. And there it is. It's in the books. The second round of the 2019 San Francisco Open presented by AbsolutXtracts and then powered by Innova Champion Disc. It's in the books, and then they'll go up, do their scorecards, and they have a nice afternoon to think about what's coming tomorrow on Sunday. And we do as well. One of those sort of interesting days, Val, I will say, for me, that now is the round of the season on the FPO as far as the Disc Golf Pro Tour is concerned. A 10 under par for any female player is something that we don't see a lot of. And so really, what's your thoughts on that? Of course, thoughts on anything else, and what we're looking at tomorrow, and really anything you can bring to us to think about for tomorrow.
It was very impressive. And when we look at the course par, we're now comparing this round that Katrina shot to Evelina's round at the Memorial. I mean, the course that we're seeing these women play this weekend is so much more challenging. The par is par 66. So to shoot a 10 down is so incredibly impressive. So to get in double digits is something we don't see that often in the FPO division. And on a course like this, I think that is something that Katrina is going to be very proud of. And it gives her a nice boost going into the third round, gives her a nice cushion above Paige Pierce. She's now 5 strokes in front of Paige. So that's nice to have. But at the same time, knowing who Paige Pierce is, she does put the pedal to the metal in the final round. So it's not anybody's tournament just yet. But if Katrina stays on this same trend of shooting an amazing rounds on this course, this could be her tournament. But we'll see. And with that putt by Madison Walker, keeps her in the lead card for tomorrow. So it's the same group tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We're going to see if Madison and Paige Bjerkaas can clean up their rounds. And then we'll see the tight race between Paige Pierce and Katrina Allen. Yeah, it's a battle for the title, of course, but to me, a battle also for potentially third place here. We'll see how that all goes down. It has to be mentioned, the ladies played actually 33 minutes faster today. Yesterday's round was 3 hours 43. Today was 3 hours and 10. So that's pretty good. There was a good flow there. Everybody seemingly playing pretty good, enjoying that good weather. But again, that is it. The ladies round is in the books. Join us a little bit later today, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 out on the East Coast for the FPO. I'm just going to pull that card up. We have a great MPO. Or excuse me, MPO. Yes. We have a great group there. We have Anthony Burrell, the young kid, Simon Lizotte, Ricky Wysocki, Calvin Heinberg. So it should be awesome. All 3 of those or 4 of those guys under par, 10 under par or better. Double digits should be a lot of fun. I am Nate Doss. This is Valerie Jenkins. We're signing off here on the FPO coverage here in the second round. We'll see you a little bit later today, and we're looking forward to it. See you soon.